Hey, everybody. Oh, man, it's all bright again. What the hell? Look at this crap.
Yeah. What's that all about?
Hold on.
You can adjust it. Huh?
I'm going to fix it.
There you go.
That's much better. Apply. Okay.
All right.
That's much better.
We're having technical difficulties. There's a
Holy
storm
crap,
going on.
man. Like 5 minutes before we were supposed to go on, I'm like, why don't we have any internet?
Yeah.
It was doing that this morning, too. Okay. So we have... I had never even heard of this company before, but we have a company called OpticalTel, and they give Wi-Fi to this whole neighborhood. And it's usually pretty good, but a couple weeks ago...
And it's free.
Yeah, it comes with the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It comes with the neighborhood. Came with the frame.
We're in an enclosed community.
Yeah. So they give you Wi-Fi, and so it's usually pretty good. But a couple weeks ago, on a Friday, they were working on it, and we lost internet for 2 hours, in the morning, and I was freaking out because I had so much work to do, and I work at home and I work remotely, so it's I don't have the internet, I can't do jack shit, right? So I was freaking out, but finally they got it back on. But ever since then, it's been kind of mostly okay, but sort of intermittent. Especially when we're streaming at night, not streaming, but when we're watching stuff on streaming. Every now and then, it'll just go out and disconnect. I don't know if that's the internet or if that's your Xbox, but I don't know. But it's kind of a pain in the ass, and it's storming outside too, so I don't know if that was what was causing the issue, but yeah. Let's see. American Military 100 says, great show on Lost Media. Thank you very much. I'm glad it came out good because I had almost no time to prepare for it. You know what I mean? I just had a couple spare hours here and there, and I was like, man, I gotta make this show good. You know what I mean? Ooh, thunder.
Yeah. Fucking, they're getting serious out there.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It says there'll definitely have to be a part 2. That's what I thought too, because there was so much stuff I wanted to cover.
I think CB's still in the old show telling me that I have to leave.
Telling you that you have to leave.
Seeing, man. The old show's not going to open ever.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to restart everything.
Yeah, we can't take it away.
Yeah, I can take it away later, but it's I can't do it right now. He says, tangential question, do you think physical media will be categorically replaced?
No.
Probably not.
Collectors will want it.
Yeah. I thought that vinyl was going the way of the dodo, but as we can see, it actually made something of a comeback. With collectors and stuff.
You can't trust digital media.
Yeah, I think some people are just kind of well, it's just, it could just disappear at any time.
They can take it from you.
Right, that too.
I've purchased games before on my Xbox One. And then come out with a new version of that game, and they took my old one away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll do that.
They're what the fuck? What happened to my old game? Oh, it's gone? Yeah, we got a new version. You got to buy a new one.
You can't keep the old one,
You can't keep the old one. We have an updated version. That was some fucking weird shit. Because licensing. I think there's something to do with licensing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah,
they'll shut down old copies and shit.
I have heard about that happening, people purchasing movies online, digitally and stuff, and then they look in there and then they're gone. And
then what if you say some naughty words that people don't like, and a company, they complain to a company that supports you, and then they cut off all your media. They do, they fucking do that kind of shit.
Yeah,
they would. Because you'd have thousands of dollars worth of media, and they'll debank you.
Zach says, I had a crazy day. Our neighbor got evicted yesterday, and we had, what is that? We had gaming out with us all day, and the cops kept showing up, asking where he was. So what? He got evicted? Why did he get evicted?
I don't know. Who's saying
Zach
this?
Is saying that.
Okay.
His neighbor got evicted. Zach says, the lost media that's interesting me most lately is cut content from video games and lost albums. Yeah, I remember you bringing up the Beach Boys Smile album and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I was going to do... I know that a lot of people are really into lost media, lost TV shows and stuff like that, which I covered a little bit of that too, but it's to me, I like the creepy shit, because that's just how I roll. So, and to me, lost TV shows aren't all that creepy. Unless it's something creepy that you remembered. Because remember, I was saying on the show, that weird fucking Jack and the Beanstalk cartoon that I thought I imagined. Until I saw it again later.
But I don't trust anything that's Electronic and non-physical. Not when push comes to shove. Not if you want to depend on it. I mean, what they're trying to do, and they tried to do this, it failed, but they're still going to try. They try to merge all these corporations with the government together and make a Chinese fucking system where you have electronic programmable money. You need fucking passports, like fucking health and vaccine passports to get on trains and do weird shit. So that way they have total control over you. If they don't like you, you can't leave your house. If they don't like you, they can vanish all your money and you starve to death. And then they say, well, you're indigent now, so we're going to put you in a prison camp, like something they do in China. But you can't trust these people, man. The richer they are, the more they want total control over you. And they want to go back to almost kind of like, they wanted to go back to the way it was, which is like a feudalistic system with lords and peasants and shit. But that would be too messy, so they're going to take they want a communist model, like Chinese communism, which is like a total control grid, because they're happy with that, because it fucks you up and makes you poor. You'll eat bugs and be happy. They literally came out and said that to you. But so all that digital media, yeah, I buy digital media, video games, but I don't need those to live. If I'm gonna buy a movie, that's a piece of recreational art. I don't feel like I have it until I have a fucking a Blu-ray of it. Then I feel like I have that movie.
Yeah.
Push comes to shove, I can throw it into an Xbox or I can throw it into a cheap fucking $30 DVD player and fucking watch it.
And I mean, Blu-rays obviously will degrade over time as everything does, but it's like you could probably watch that for a really long time.
I maybe only have 30 years left on my lifespan. I'm sure they'll make it 30 years.
Yeah, they'll make it 30 years.
So,
Yeah, Zach says home media on disc I can imagine making a comeback too because the image quality looks so much better. Compression on streaming kills picture quality, especially if it's something shot on film. It looks garbage on streaming.
The best picture quality that they ever had, I remember it as a kid, a laser disc. And it was the size of a fucking record album. And each one was like $100. Nobody could afford it.
Yeah, we had some in the record store that I worked in 1993.
And they didn't even have
HD
televisions when they came out with that. And it looked really good. So I wonder what that looks like on a modern HD television now. Probably looks pretty damn good. Although maybe not, because it wasn't formatted for like 4K, like what they have now, But I think all the new televisions we have are 4K, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But it's just funny how I was thinking about that the other day because you know how sometimes when we eat at Mellow Mushroom,
yeah, it looks like shit.
And well, because they have the settings on all the TVs, like on the sports setting or the action setting or whatever the fuck they call it.
It's like a high frame rate
because they mostly have sports on there. But then one channel will be showing movies, and the movie looks like ass.
It looks like something fucking off a damn like a television program.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
And it was like a Marvel movie, and it looked like shit.
It reminded me of that because when we were in Mount Dora last weekend, and Tom popped into this gun store to see if they had something, and they had a TV on, and it was a movie, and they very clearly had the wrong settings on too. Because I'm looking at the movie, going, "Wow, that looks like crap."
I had the high frame rate set on the television one time. Had a guest over and tried to show him the movie Soldier.
Yeah.
With fucking Russell in it.
Yeah.
And it looked like shit, man. Fucking all the sets looked fake. Fucking all the uniforms fucking looked fake. It looked terrible. And I went, wait a minute, hold on. So I changed the frame rate, and it went right back to a
it like a daytime soap opera.
Yeah, it looked like a daytime soap opera. But it went back. It went back to the way it was meant to be watched, which was kind of softer imagery and lower frame rate. It looked It looked like it's like the cinema,
Yeah, because sometimes you don't want super HD. No. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need to see the hair in everyone's nostrils and shit like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's fine.
Yeah, there's such a thing as too much detail.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't need like HD porn or anything like that. It's like I don't need to see every single pore. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know me, I'm a connoisseur of that shit.
He's a pornosaur.
Some people look fantastic in fucking HD. Other people don't. That's the acid test of whether or not you look good. If you can go in HD and still look good, then you look good. Some of the girls that were big names back in the VHS era, You didn't want to see them in HD. They look good in low definition.
Yeah.
You know, if you saw what they really look like, they're rough. You know, rough looking, drugs and shit.
Well.
Bad skin tone, bad skin quality and shit.
Yeah. Cave Guy says, I'm trying to control my anxiety and get down to a mellow type B relaxed personality. Yeah. But I still think my body is subconsciously keeping me at a type A. I know that feeling. You know what I mean?
We put some ice in it.
Yeah. He says, I want to be relaxed, but I think I overthink everything, according to my wife and me as well. I'm the same. I can't really help it. I really am, like, consciously trying to not be like that, but this... I don't know. I try not to be like that, but this past week, it's like I've had so much work, and it's like if I have like 5 clients sending me stuff that all needs, like, I'm just one person, like I don't have time to do all of that, and like everybody needs it like today or tomorrow or something like that. It's like I'm just like there's no way that I'm gonna be able to finish all this shit, and it's like, and I start getting like really, really stressed out. You know what I mean? I got most of the shit done, but I still have some shit to do, and it's like I probably have to do over the weekend, which sucks because I really, really hate having to do shit over the weekend because I feel like I never get a day off, like I never get a break, and it just really, really sucks. CB said, my girlfriend told my mom about me being open about my fetish on the 13 o'clock live stream, and we ended up talking about my fetish. See, it's a very, very, we open communication with people, this show. We didn't really mean to. We're just like on here drinking and farting around, but you know what I mean? Zach says, I love watching older movies in 4K because you can see the texture of the film grain. And Ben says 4K Casablanca looks amazing. Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched Casablanca on 4K now that I'm thinking about it. I haven't seen that movie in a very long time.
Yeah, all that fucking video disc technology, I think they pretty much got that perfected. You don't need any more definition, you don't need any more fucking resolution or anything. Fucking, 4K is too fucking much.
Mostly it is. It's like you don't really need...
You don't need anything above 720.
I don't think.
Yeah, 720 looks good.
Of course, my vision's not as good as it used to be, so it's just, so I'm pretty happy with... You know what I mean? I'm pretty happy with...
You're just looking at video imagery.
Yeah.
You don't want to... I don't want to see it as it really looks like, it's a... With that high frame rate, it's like you're looking through a window, looking outside the house at the fucking field, the guy's playing out in the field. I can understand that. It's like you're there.
Yeah.
But cinema wasn't meant to be experienced that way.
No.
Cinema is imagery given to you through a medium.
Yeah.
A camera, certain types of film, grainy film, shit being edited. It's not realism. It's a puppet show, basically.
Well, and it's supposed to be like transporting you to another place. It's not supposed to be like reality.
Yeah.
Per se.
You're right.
So.
I got some of these younger generations though. They fucking. It's like it's got to look real. Nah.
Some things look better real. Other things not so much.
Some things don't look good when they're real.
No.
If you actually see what it really looks like, it's like doesn't look like in an action movie, dude's getting shot. Boy, that looks fucking cool on screen because that's not the way it really looks. Go look at fucking police camera footage of guys shooting other guys. It doesn't look impressive. It's not. Dudes just get shot. They fall over like a sack of shit. Or they fucking, just... It's not something that would be worthy of...
It's not like
of a film.
Slow-mo with like blood
awesome
spraying.
Shit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not usually.
It's just real fucking anticlimactic.
Yeah. But like you said, it's it's a movie. It's supposed to not. It's supposed to be like heightened reality. It's not supposed to look like reality because reality is mostly kind of boring. That's why you watch movies, right? Because reality is kind of boring. I mean, that's not the only reason, but So everything shouldn't look like that.
Watch him shoot a guy about 13, 14 times. He had a pistol in his hand. He wouldn't put it down. He just kept sitting up with that damn pistol, and they just kept gunning him down. They hit him before, but then he get back down.
Was he a zombie by any chance? They're like, holy shit, the zombie apocalypse is starting. We keep shooting him, and he just keeps getting back up.
He had a lot of fucking willpower. He didn't stand up.
But he sat up.
He sat up. He kept sitting up, and they just kept shooting him again. They get down, get down, get down, drop the gun. He get back up like that.
Fuck you!
He was trying to...
He was willful,
He was trying to get a fucking kill shot so he could get out of here. You know what I mean? Fucking, he kept giving him a better shot, and they weren't taking. A lot of those cops can't shoot.
Well,
Not under pressure. So they just fucking spray and pray. They just fucking point the muzzle at the target and just open fire. There's like 7 of them shooting at him, you know. Yeah.
Crazy. That's crazy.
You don't fuck around in the United States, man. This is...
Well, even if you're not fucking around, they might still shoot you anyway.
This is the fucking epic FAFO season. Fuck around and find out. They fuck around here, you're gonna find out real quick. I just saw one where I sent you the clip where they shot that guy right out in front of the old Barbarellas.
Oh yeah.
Down on Orange Ave.
Yeah, that was a while back.
Woman smacked him. He's in an argument. He's got the big fucking baggy fucking shorts. He's like a Hispanic guy. Big baggy shorts, belly, big oversized shirt, just dressed like a child. It looks like if you didn't know that was an adult, you'd think it was a little like 5-year-old, like a child. And he gets into a shoving match with somebody and he fucking pulls out a pistol and fires it off up into the air. And some people ran, but other people just sat there looking at him like, what the fuck you doing?
Like that, bro.
Yeah, people don't give a shit about guns here. They're just like, dude, stop fucking shooting. You can't really hear what he's saying. And they're watching him through the police cameras because there are cameras all down that road. You can hear the operators going, okay, he's firing and we're on our way, you know. They show up and he's turned around and he's putting the gun in his pants. And they bear down on him, about 6 guys, and they're all saying, drop the gun, get down, and they're all shooting at the same time. Just, dude had...
Shoot first, ask questions.
Yeah. There's no time to react. And I was, even a sober dude, he was just drunk off of his fucking, even a sober dude could not react that fast. They show up to kill you, and they just happen to be, they just say drop the gun, just to cover their ass.
Yeah.
Get down, drop the gun, get down.
Gotta look good on the
Get
dash
down,
cam.
drop the gun, yeah. They must have
cam.
shot him about 7-8 times, just fucking splattered him. And then they had the fucking ever-present screaming woman. Ah! Like, bet you were standing there the whole fucking time you weren't screaming. You saw what happened. Now you want to scream. Okay. The screaming woman. It's in every video where a dude gets shot up downtown. Got to be one woman's got to scream at the top of her lungs.
Maybe it's the same.
It sounds
every
fake
time.
as fuck too. You know?
Just like that Ray Bradbury story about all those people that turned up at all the car accidents, and they were all the same people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just remembered it. Well, I read that story before, but I just remembered it because I was watching Ray Bradbury Theater, and I watched that episode the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that story.
Moral of the story: this isn't just Tom Ross talking out his ass. I got it. Video documentation. Do not fucking take a fucking... We got constitutional carry here in Florida. If you can legally purchase a pistol, you can legally carry it. You cannot legally carry that into a fucking place that serves alcohol. If you take that shit down, you'll get 10 years for taking that into a bar. If you take that shit down range, Orange Ave, where all the fucking nightclubs and bars are, you get drunk and pull a gun, they are going to kill you. Period. Because if you're that stupid, they can't let you live. Just how it goes here. And I saw it happen. They all fucking bore down on the dude, and he didn't have the gun pointed at anybody. He was putting it in his pants, and they said, get down, drop the gun, and opened fire at the same time. All like 6 or 7 of them. And each one of them dudes must have shot him 2 or 3 times. And that's just how it goes here. What are you going to do? If you don't do that, if he shoots somebody else, they're going to blame the cops. Right. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what they do.
Let's see. Zach says, I prefer the look of film for movies. Think it makes colors look better. I also hate period movies shot digitally. Yeah, me too. Ironically, it makes everything look more fake. Yeah, it kind of does.
Well, no, they did some period stuff looks good.
Yeah, but it's
Gangs
still...
of New York looked pretty good.
It's still not... Was that even shot digitally, though?
Might have been. We saw a lot of newer period stuff
yeah.
that looked good.
I mean, like I said, it depends, I guess.
Depends on what it is.
And Ben says, even some films that aren't that old are a lot better in 4K. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is amazing. There's so much more details you can appreciate in the costumes. And then American Military 100 said, interesting how you brought up Marilyn Mance's short film last Wednesday. He and Alice Cooper are dropping a collaboration track called Necrodelia.
Yeah. Yeah,
Him
Ben
and
says at least
Alice
they
Cooper.
didn't issue the warning after they shot him. No, they issued the warning as they were shooting him.
As they
Not
shoot. Like he'd have.
If you take a gun down fucking Orange Ave with those clubs, they're gonna kill you. And me and Jenny have seen it, 2 or 3 times. They had the one dude who was just drunk off his ass, holding onto the bar, and he pulled his pistol out and set it on the bar like that. And they called the cops. The cops showed up, tried to shoot at him, but shot the bartender, the woman that worked there.
Yeah.
And then he turned around, and then they filled him full of lead. And that dude was, I think, harmless. He was so drunk he couldn't even stand up. But he took a gun down there. They'll fucking kill you for that.
Damn. Can't believe that storm out there.
Yeah, somebody says, damn, you get 10 years, you get more for... That's more than you get for murder. I don't know where you live, Ben, but no. Murder's life or death here. That's it.
Man, I was watching some of those Perfect Murder shows last night.
Yeah.
And the last one I watched was... I had totally forgotten about this, but was the murder of Adrienne Shelley, which, if you don't remember who she is, she was like a big like indie actress in the 90s. She was in like a bunch of Hal Hartley movies. And man, I used to love her. Like, she was in... Trust and Unbelievable Truth, and she directed a movie called Waitress that was really good, that I think they made a musical about later. And they found her in her... It wasn't her house. She had like another apartment in New York City where she went to write. Like, it was like her office. And they found her in there like hanging from the shower curtain rod, and they assumed that she had committed suicide because there wasn't like any other injuries or anything like that. And they went like... the first Emmy said, yeah, it was suicide. And then the husband was like, she wouldn't have killed herself. I know her. And so he hired another ME, and that ME also said that she committed suicide, but the husband was not having it. And he just kept pestering the fucking cops until the cops like looked closer, and they eventually did figure out that yes, she was murdered. And she was murdered by like this 19-year-old kid that was like working construction, like in her building, like in the... He like went up there to rob her apartment or something.
And she was in there.
And she was in there. She caught him.
And she says, I'm going to call the police. He goes, oh, no. He killed her.
Yeah.
He didn't want immigration.
Yeah, he was a dumb kid.
Yeah.
But that
and
was
he was
kind of...
5'2".
Yeah, he was like a little
bitty guy.
Little dude. And he was only 19, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he got her hanging from the shower curtain.
He said, like, later on, because they asked him about that, because that was one of the weird things. That's like, that's a really weird knot. Like, they'd never really seen a knot like that. It was a bed sheet is what it was. And they asked him about it. They said, where'd you learn to tie a knot like that? And he said, back in, wasn't he from Ecuador or something like that?
Yeah,
and he said back there, he's like, I grew up on a pig farm. Like, I worked on a pig farm. And that's how, like, we used to knot the pig, like, to tie the pigs or, like, drag the pigs, like, wherever they were dragging them, like, the dead ones. And so I guess he thought of that, because after he killed her, I don't think he meant to kill her, but then he was like, oh shit, now what do I do? And so he staged it, like, to look like a suicide. And I guess he did a good job because he fooled 2 medical examiners.
No, he meant to kill her once he realized he had to kill her.
Yeah, I guess that, like, when she started saying, yeah, that's true, he did, like, try to strangle her at first.
He strangled her with a scarf.
I mean, he didn't go, I meant he didn't go in there intending to kill her.
No, he was going there to rob her. But then as soon as she saw him, and he didn't want to get deported, so he strangled her.
But that was... I remember that
Pretty
happening,
actress,
too, because it's like, I always really liked her. I'd seen, like, all of her movies. And I was like, that was really fucked up when that happened.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the one before that, was, like, about this photographer named Joel something, and he worked in Greenwich Village. And some motherfucker just walked in the middle of the workday and just, like, shot him in the head.
Just goes to show you how much stronger a man is to a woman. Because he was, like, 5'2" and weak. And he killed her.
I mean, she was pretty little, too, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty, but
yeah,
it just shows you that when you compare the two, even a weak man has no problem overpowering a weak woman.
But
I don't think he'd be able to take you though.
No, probably
maybe
not.
I don't know.
What, a 5'2" skinny dude?
Yeah, maybe.
No, I'd knock that fucker out.
Yeah, you're getting stronger.
I probably outweigh him by a significant amount.
You probably wrestle him.
Yeah, I probably would.
Fucking, and just hit him in that booty. Just fucking like that. Just start twerking on his face. Suffocate him.
Yeah, I'll just suffocate him.
Suffocate him in ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I totally would do that.
Asphyxiation.
Asphyxiation.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the one before that, honestly, this is kind of fucked up. But the guy that walked in and shot the dude in the head, I was like, wow, that's pretty fucked up. And they went through like all these scenarios, like, oh, because he had borrowed money from maybe a loan shark or something, but they figured out maybe that wasn't it. And there was all this other shit. And then it turned out, at first, like, everybody was saying, oh, everybody loves him, he's such a nice man, blah de blah. But then it started coming out that he was a total fucking creep. That like most of the women that came there to get pictures taken, like for their portfolios or whatever, like he would creep on them. A couple times he raped them, and that's what it turned out it was. Like he had actually raped a girl, and she didn't want to tell the police because she was scared. And then one night she told her boyfriend, and her boyfriend just went and shot him in the fucking head. Yeah, and I was kind of like, I don't blame him, honestly. I mean, he got manslaughter.
Yeah, how much time did they give him?
He served 16 years, actually.
16 years for that?
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, why don't they...
What state was that?
I think it was New York.
Yeah, fuck New York.
I think it was 16 years, or maybe it was another one I was thinking of.
Had that been Mississippi...
I thought it was just 10... I thought maybe it was just 10 years.
Had that been Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, Alabama... You're going to wait 2 years to go to trial. So if you're just locked up, they're going to give you time served. They're going to go, yeah, manslaughter, time served. That's what they'll do. Put you on probation for another couple years. Something like that.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, like after I found out like all that stuff about that dude, I was like, let him go. Because they said while he was in prison, he was like a model prisoner. And when he got out, he actually... went on the straight and narrow, and he was just like a really upstanding citizen, you know what I mean?
He just did what nature told him to do.
That's what I mean, and I'm just kind of like...
take care of that shit yourself.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, here's the thing.
It was too late for them to fucking bring charges, bro.
Well, what happened was, he told his girlfriend, he's like, aren't you going to go to the police? And she's like, I don't really want to go to the police. And he tried to call the police. Yeah. Like, he called the sex crimes unit, and they said, look, unless she gives a statement, we can't take a secondhand statement, you know, it has to be her. And she didn't want to. Yeah. And so he was mad. He's like, so you can't do anything? And they're like, we can't do anything unless she says something.
How old was she?
I don't know. She was like in her like 20 or 21, something like that.
How old was he?
I don't know, probably 40s, maybe.
What did he do? He abducted her? Or
no, I said he's a photographer.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
That guy. He was a photographer. Yeah. And he was actually really well known.
Yeah.
And at first, like, all the women they were interviewing is like, wow, he was so good, he was so professional, and he took really good pictures and blah, blah, blah. But then, like, more women started coming in being like, man, that dude is a fucking creepazoid, and he tried to grope me and all this other kind of shit. And he also, like, tried to pimp the girls out to, like, his older creepo friends. Like, these creepy old men that he called them, like, what did his secretary say? He called them the perv parade or something like that. I'm like, dude,
how would he pimp them out? Just
not funny.
Set them up with dates or something?
Yeah, he'd like make them go out on date. Like this one woman came and said, yeah, I was in there getting pictures taken, and this older friend of his came to the studio, and then he was like, oh, let's all three of us go out to dinner. And she's like, okay. But then her and the old man went. Joel's like, I'll catch up with you later. But then he never showed up.
Right, yeah.
And then then the old man tried to drug her.
Man.
But she got out of it because she barfed.
Yeah.
So she escaped. But, you know what I mean?
Wonderful dudes, man.
Yeah, so...
bunch of pervs hanging out.
So, like I said, the fact that the boyfriend of that girl, like, actually just went and shot the dude in the head, I was just kind of like, I don't feel too bad about it, sorry. Like, if I was on the jury, I'd have been like...
Yeah, I'd let
just let him go. Just let him go home.
That dude,
It's like, fuck that other guy. You know what I mean? Sorry, but he's a shithead.
Yeah.
You know?
We see what that is. I'd have a prosecutor going in there going like, yeah, but do we know if it's true? She may have lied about this. They've killed an innocent man, all kinds of shit. You know?
But so many people came forward, though.
Word on the street was he was a perv. You know, shit happens. You know.
Yeah, I mean...
life is cheap. It is. It is, unfortunately. Not everybody's lives are worth the same.
DVD Dragon said, Tom, I finally figured it out. You look like a jacked Michael Ironside.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's a fucking compliment. I love Michael Ironside. Yeah.
He's awesome. I love him.
We don't have the same kind of facial structure, but spiritually, yeah, I understand what you're talking about.
He's like spiritually.
Spiritually, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch pretty much anything that he's in. Because he's been in some kind of shitty movies, but he's always like the best thing in it.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite character actors.
Yeah.
He was great in fucking... Starship Troopers.
Yeah, somebody said Starship Trooper. Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
He was in fucking
Scanners.
Metal Storm. He was in that. Remember, he played the cyborg.
Yeah.
Scanners? Oh, yeah. Fucking Scanners, bro. I need to see that one again.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that in a long time.
American Military said, Jenny, have you heard there's a suspected active serial killer in New England? 11 known victims thus far.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah.
They don't know if it's a serial killer though.
Yeah, I'll look.
They don't know if all those deaths are related.
Well, I don't know. We'll look at it. Well, I'm gonna look into it though. One of the if you saw the poll that I put up this morning, one of the topics I put up there was true crime updates. Because so many people have asked us to do updates on the Maura Murray case and the Asha Degree case. There have like been updates and a bunch of stuff that we covered before. So that might be a good show. I'm not telling you to vote for that. I'm just saying that it's in there if you want to. Did somebody knock Spock over?
Yeah, Pookie knocks Spock over.
Pookie
rubbing over it.
Pookie likes to come in and rub on Spock's leg.
Yeah,
She's like, I love you, Spock.
Yeah.
She kind of knocked him over.
She knows that's a human figure, I think.
Yeah. She's like, he's so big.
She tries to mark him.
Papa77 said, have you guys seen there's a new documentary coming to Netflix about Fred and Rose West? Ooh, I'm going to have to watch that.
Yeah.
Those two motherfuckers.
Bad motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Sickos.
Jose Francisco Trevino, do you guys accept free books in exchange for reviews? I'm a writer. Yes, I have done that before. You can either, if you have an ebook, you can either message me somewhere, like on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and I can send you my email address.
She's had a lot of people send her books.
Or, yeah.
Out of the blue, just shit shows up sometimes.
Yeah, like people will send me books and I review them.
She's
like
reviewed every one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And they don't pay her, she just does it.
Yeah, because I did get accused of that
sometimes
before.
Sometimes they're not happy with the review. She's tough. If your spelling's and your grammar's fucked up, she's going to talk about that.
Well, I'm going to say. And I'm just going to say that's necessarily, I mean, that's not necessarily, because I know some writers are not good at that, like, but you know what I mean? But I'm kind of a stickler about it. But if you know you're not good at it, then you need to get an editor. Yeah,
some people, she says some stories are just kind of rambling, but she's run across a couple of them that she was really impressed with. She says, oh yeah, this was good.
Yeah.
And then one dude came and it was mediocre. And she fucking banged him up about it. He sent her a second book and it was a lot better.
Yeah.
So he listened to her.
Yeah, well,
so
because...
And you reviewed that one too, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said that was a lot better, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is that look, I'm a writer too. And it's like, I know it sucks, like, when somebody rakes your shit over the coals. But, I'm not a dick about it. I try not to be a dick about it. I mean, unless I've read a couple of books that were just so egregiously offensive that I was just kind of like that I had to be a dick about it, because I was like, because obviously this writer is trying to be a dick or is trolling or whatever. But I usually try to be diplomatic about it. If there's something about it, I'll be even about it. Like, if there's shit about it I liked, I'll say what I liked about it. But if there's shit I didn't like about it, I will also say that.
And if it's gore and disgusting shit, that's not what she's talking about. She writes some fucking bizarre ass shit. Okay, it's just mostly her thing is fucking how the story structure is and fucking spelling, grammar. That's you know.
You know what's weird? Yeah. Like sometimes it's not. Look, there's little mistakes like, hey, they left out an apostrophe or something like that. Like shit happens. You know what I mean? You miss little things like that. Like even the best editor misses stuff like that. I've noticed. But some stuff is just like unforgivable. Like if it went through an editor, like using the wrong forms of words. Like for example, a lot of people seem to get tripped up by synonyms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of the things, now I even see this on fucking TV shows all the time. And since it's horror, like a lot of times they'll use the word grisly, meaning, you know, gory or disgusting or whatever. That is not spelled like grizzly bear, but a lot of people spell it the same. It's not spelled the same. I've even seen them do that on TV.
How's it spelled? It's one
Grisly. That's how you spell grizzly, like disgusting.
That's right.
Grizzly bear has two Z's.
Yeah.
But I see that mistake all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. That is not the same word. It's not the same word. And I see stuff like like pedal, like P-E-D-A-L when they mean, you know, P-E-D-D-L-E. You know what I mean? Like shit like that.
And don't send her a rough copy and expect her to edit it either. That ain't gonna happen. You gotta send her the final.
Bitch, I don't have time for that.
She ain't time for that.
I don't have time
that
for
costs money. You fucking send her.
Well, yeah, I mean, editors. I don't know how much they make, but
yeah, like, editor. That's a job.
That's a whole ass job.
Yeah.
And one which I do not have. Although I'd probably be good at it because I'm.
You just don't have time.
I'm pretty anal retentive like that, but I just don't have time to do it, you know. But yeah, that shit gets on my nerves, like using the wrong word, you know, because I'm like, I know you fucking know better than that.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't. Because like I said, that grizzly thing pisses me off because I see that all the fucking time.
Zach's in there saying he found out about Michael Ironside because he voiced Sam Fisher in the Splinter Cell games. I don't know that character. Ironside's the shit, though. He was always the shit. Ever since I was a little boy watching, I'd see his ass on fucking horror movies and stuff. I think the first thing I remember seeing in him was in Scanners. That leaves a big impression on you. And then coming up, you know, fucking Total Recall, and just he was in a bunch of other stuff that just doesn't come to mind too. He always played very interesting character. It was always kind of the same character, but that's what he was hired for. And some dudes you hire to come and fucking class up the joint. Michael Ironside, you hired him to come and roughen up the joint. He was kind of a sinister character, kind of hard edged, but likable. He was, you know.
He always looks ever so slightly unhinged.
Yeah, a little bit crazy.
Like even when he's just acting normal.
I thought one of his best roles was Starship Troopers, where he was playing a good teacher, and then when wartime came, he went back into service. And that being the platoon sergeant. I don't know if they called him platoon sergeant, platoon leader. I think it was platoon sergeant. And he can play a good military man. And probably doesn't have any military experience, but he can fake it. These people fucking got to remember. These are drama kids. I was a drama kid in high school. But they're basically drama kids. And I loved it. I loved being an actor. The thing is, I didn't want to live that way. I wanted to actually go out and do shit. So, you know, I joined the service. Started having my own adventures, and then didn't really care too much about theater anymore. And then something like YouTube comes along. And it's kind of like television. You know, but better. No commercials. Well, they insert commercials in these motherfuckers, you know. So we get some money for that. I had actually heard somebody complain that a lot of fucking commercials come on it. I don't know if we can control that or not. I don't know.
Well, you basically all you can do. There's like a setting that says where do you want them, and then they basically just stick them wherever they think they can stick them.
We could probably make about $100 a month just on ads, which is nothing, but.
Yeah, I mean, considering that's from like all of our videos.
All the videos are making about 100 together.
Because you only like the ads, it's only like a cent or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think it's a cent. It might just be like a fraction of a cent or something. Camp Guy says they have something called Grammarly. Yeah, I don't. He says I don't use or need it. I have it. Like it's just like the little app that, you know, while you're typing and stuff. But I've noticed that it gets shit wrong though. Like, because I'm typing stuff, and I'm just like, and it's telling me it's wrong. I'm like, fuck you, that's not wrong. I'm like, I know more than you do. Stop it. Fucking Grammarly. And he says, best writing advice book is The Elements of Style by Strunk and White. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic for a reason. It's very straightforward, and it's just very easy to remember. Like, I haven't read it for a long time. I have it somewhere. CB said, in England, a woman gave a book was rubbish in a review. And the author got on a train and traveled over 100 miles, went to where the woman worked, and smashed a bottle on her head, and went to prison for it.
Somebody said that Michael Ironside plays better bad guys. I gotta kind of disagree. I think he always plays a good, like, morally ambiguous guy. You're not really sure if he's good or bad, but you like him. Like in Scanners, he was like that. You know, he was kind of a good guy, wasn't he?
Kind of? No, well, no, not really.
It was difficult to say. he was trying to get his brother to join up with him.
Yeah.
Right. I got to see it again. He was an interesting character. Yeah, he was crazy. But he wasn't wrong. I remember that he was talking about the company that made him a scanner was trying to fuck him over. Remember? He was trying to get free from that, I think, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but...
Yeah.
I think, like you said, he was more like a ambiguous.
Yeah.
Full Metal Nosferatu is here, saying, Happy Finish Strong Friday, Jenny and Tom. Man, what a week. Yeah, tell me about it. So, I'm glad it's fucking weekend, you know?
And then...
I just turned all my fucking work notifications off, and I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna chill out for the weekend. And Sunday's Mother's Day, so...
Yeah. And I was thinking of, fucking... In Total Recall... Ironside was playing a private security guy who was kind of like a secret agent. Remember? And Sharon Stone was actually his girlfriend, and her job was to fuck Arnold Schwarzenegger and pretend to be his wife. That's fucking funny. But I think that's the way a lot of it. So that's the way a lot of female agents are. You know, they're sex operatives basically. Here's the thing, though, people, and I had tried to get this through Little Swole. He's my friend of mine, through his skull. The story of Total Recall, Quaid, none of that happened. That was the trip he paid for. That was the ego trip. They told you that you would believe it like it was totally real. And they put him through a bunch of shit tests, so he accepted it as reality. They already told you that he was going to get the girl, fucking save Mars, and fucking find alien artifacts, and it all happened. And when he was selecting the girl of his dreams, they show the girl that ends up playing the secret agent hooker chick. So, but Little Swole swears that, no, that was real. Says, no, it wasn't.
No, I mean, that was the whole point of the movie.
That was the whole fucking point of the movie. Is none of that was real.
None of it happened.
No. He was a lowly construction worker.
Yeah.
That's what he was. He got the dream that he paid for.
Yeah. Like I said, that was kind of the whole point of the story. Papa77 said Grammarly is gaslighting you, Jenny. I know, right? Yeah. And then SideQuest said, I have Pro Writing Aid and Grammarly and Word. All three never agree on the right grammar for certain sentences. Yeah, I mean, English grammar is kind of... There's rules, but they're not hard and fast rules in some cases. So it's like there's a couple different ways to do things. But yeah, Camp Guy's saying reading really good writers is highly recommended. Twain, Hawthorne, Tom Wolfe, McCarthy, etc. Yeah, I think that why I got good at it was because I didn't learn spelling or grammar like by rote. Like at school, I learned it just by reading. So I learned it because I love to read. And as soon as I learned to read, or, you know, as soon as I could read when I was 2 or whatever, like I just devoured everything. So it's like, so it kind of just by osmosis, you learn all the grammar rules. So like when I got to school and they started teaching you the grammar rules, I already knew because I had just been reading for such a long time that I already knew how to spell shit and I already knew how grammar worked and everything like that. So, so that's why I'm still kind of a stickler about it. Like I said, I'm not an asshole about it, but like I said, if somebody sends me a book and there's a lot, if there's just 1 or 2, I let it slide because shit happens. You know what I mean? Because I've made fuck ups without noticing. But if it's something that happens frequently, like I said, if they're using the wrong word frequently or something. One thing that I've noticed in a lot of books that I've read, specifically British ones, and I don't think this is just a specifically British thing, but maybe there were some American ones that had it too, is that, okay, I thought it was pretty standard practice when you're writing a book and you're writing dialogue, right? Like when you write someone's dialogue, if someone else is speaking, you do another paragraph, right? I mean, that's just kind of...
Don't ask me. I'm not...
Because otherwise you have no idea, like, is this the same person talking? Like, what's going on now? Like, it's too confusing. But I've noticed that, like, some books that I've read recently, they have, like, dialogue, but then, like, another person is talking, but it's in the same paragraph. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that that's not... I'm not saying it's not acceptable. I'm just saying it's not done. Just because it's confusing. You know? You want to know who's talking. Because you don't always have so and so said blah blah blah. Like sometimes you just have the quotation and you're just like supposed to know from context clues who's talking. But if you have like different people talking in the same paragraph, like it's just too confusing. So I thought you went to a new paragraph, but apparently not, because I've read like a couple, like 2 or 3 books recently that had that same thing, and I was like, is this a new thing now? Like we're just putting it all in the same paragraph? Because who the fuck is talking? I don't have any idea who's talking. I feel like the best writing should not be showy. It should kind of get the job done. It doesn't have to be completely workmanlike or anything. Like you can, do some poetic shit with it or whatever. But it's like it shouldn't call attention to itself. It shouldn't get in the way of the story. Like if I'm stopping every minute to be who the fuck is talking now, or wow, that was a weird metaphor, or something like that, then that every time it takes me out of the story, then that's bad. So it should be unobtrusive. Your writing should be unobtrusive. Just tell the story. You know what I mean? Don't fart around. Like I said, it doesn't have to be completely unadorned, because I mean my writing's kind of purple, but let me see.
Make another drink.
Yeah, mine it's getting kind of watery.
Okay.
But that's, I've had that for like 2 hours, so. CB said, yeah, Tom, he was more pissed about him fucking his girlfriend than him shooting her in the head. Yeah. About the movie. Let's see. SideQuest Ciarra says, my favorite thing is I actually write with pretty good grammar, but when I post online or text, I give 0 fucks. You'd never know. I've noticed a lot of writers like that. You know what? I'm still pretty anal retentive, like, if I post stuff online. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's just a Facebook message or something like that, like, it has to be spelled correctly, it has to be punctuated correctly. I know I'm in the minority on that, and I don't know why I'm so weird about it. I just am. You know what I mean? CB said, I found a book called A Guide to Become a Serial Killer in the library. Ooh. That sounds good. I think there's a show on one of the streaming services. I haven't watched it yet, but I think it's How to Become a Cult Leader, or How to Become a Cult Leader. I mean, basically it's just about cult leaders. It's not really how to become that. They just called it that because, it's a more provocative title, I guess, but you know what I mean. Camp Guy says, Twain's Life on the Mississippi and Huckleberry Finn plus everything else he wrote, most accessible commentary ever. Yeah, I haven't read any Mark Twain for a very, very long time. I read a lot of it at school, but... No, CB was saying about Total Recall, I'm assuming. Yeah. Said, yeah, Tom, he was more pissed about him fucking his girlfriend than him shooting him in the head. Yeah. Shooting her in the head, sorry.
Yeah.
SideQuest says, I just get tired of words. The more I've written that day, the more lazy I am on text and things. I'm honestly kind of like, if you guys have read any of my fucking blog posts about movies and stuff, man, I will go on and on and on. Yeah. Because sometimes I'll go back and read some of them by like, holy crap, I really did go very in depth in this, didn't I? I just kind of like, especially when I talk about like all those old Thriller episodes and stuff like that, I just like write paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs about it. You know what I mean? But I enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, fucking him being mad at Michael Ironside being mad that Quaid was fucking his girlfriend. Was it his wife or was his girlfriend? Might have been his girlfriend, huh? And the other security guy says, yeah, I'm sure she hated every minute of it. And a big smile on his face. He's like, yeah, fuck you.
I haven't watched that movie in a long time.
Yeah.
I forgot a lot of the... I've seen it a bunch of times, but I kind of forgot a lot of the plot elements. For some reason.
Well, you just see it again. It's fun to watch. That one's very watchable.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's, especially like in the evenings, like we've been drinking and stuff. Like a lot of times I like watching, newer shit, like, stuff about true crime or new horror movies or something. But sometimes I'm just kind of in the mood. It's like, I just want to watch something I've watched before.
Yeah.
Like that I've seen a bunch of times before, so you can just kind of chill out. You don't have to pay 100% attention to it. You kind of already know what's going to happen, so. You don't have
There's
to worry
two
about
of them that I can do that with. They both happen to be Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Predator, I can watch that at any time. And Commando. And Commando's just like watching a video game.
Yeah.
There's even boss fights in it.
I haven't seen that
and you don't
in a
have to pay
long
attention.
time.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
And it's got a really good fucking score. Real high action. And I think video games from the 80s were actually kind of modeled after that film template of boss fights and the next level, all that kind of shit. 'Cause that's how Commando was.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I was reading Full Metal Nosferatu
Okay.
was like writing all this stuff, and
Alright.
I was gonna go back and read it. So it's been an exciting week, but the fun is continuing. First, we had our short film, a Lilith movie, screened at Strange Maynard Film Festival last Saturday and Sunday. Began our new horror movie, The House. That's awesome. Second, my stepson presented his thesis at college. Success. Today I celebrated my 25th anniversary with my company, and tomorrow continuing filming Abysmal Purgatory. Third, my stepson is graduating from college next Friday and more filming. And then he says, sorry for 3 paragraphs, but life is exciting right now. No, man, that's all right. That's awesome. That's awesome.
What's up, SideQuest? How you been?
That's really cool about all your movies.
Yeah.
Because weren't you saying earlier that he said, I wish I had joined the drama class at school, but now I'm loving being a Z movie actor. Z movie actor. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure your movies are much better than some of the ones that I've seen. I mean, if you guys watch MST or Riff Tracks or Brandon Tenold, you will see some bad movies. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't even get, like, when somebody sees just, like, kind of a mediocre, okay movie, and they're like, that was the worst movie ever. I'm like, oh, you sweet summer child. I'm like, there's way fucking worse.
CB was
it's
saying,
like, have you seen Roller Gator? Okay, then shut the fuck up.
CB was saying that his drama class sucked in his school, which that's surprising because he's in the UK.
Mm.
And really, they got the best drama schools there. That's where Shakespeare and all that shit came from. Most of your best American actors in the American movies are actually British.
Well, yeah.
With fake English, with fake American accents they had. What, that dude from The Walking Dead? I swear to God, that dude was Southern. That's how well he can do a Southern accent. And I'm fucking Southern. I was like, yeah, that sounds like Georgia, Alabama. No, the motherfucker's from England, but he can do it.
I guess I didn't realize because I'm not a chick flick girly.
Yeah.
But he had been in a very, very famous British chick flick, Love Actually. I guess that's considered a chick flick, right? So I guess people that had seen that like knew he was British. So when they said, but I had never seen that. I'd heard of it, but I'd never really like sat through it or nothing.
If you were lucky enough to be in a high school that had a really good drama program, which I was, in Trenton High, fucking Gramter's Hammers. I don't know if he's in here right now. We were in the same program together. He ended up being a cop. I ended up going into the Army and becoming military and paramilitary. But if you had a good drama teacher, they could put you on the right road. And some of the people that we knew ended up being famous. One of them was my ex-girlfriend, Marilyn Rice Cub. She's fucking famous. She was on 24. She's a stand-up comedian now, and she was in a bunch of other, like she was in the movie Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah, shit, I remember that
she was in all kinds of and yeah, man, fucking.
Was she
that
in
was
that
my
one?
ex-girlfriend.
Wasn't she in that one?
I got slides of her at my fucking birthday party.
That's so funny.
With the other guys from the drama program, and yeah, so here's the thing. In drama at that particular time back in high school, I blew her away. All right, she was just like an amateur. Well, I liked her, but she just sucked. She stuck with it. She went to university for that. She got better, and then made all the connections and all the friends that you need. Had I done that, probably what would have happened is I probably ended up like fucking Charlie Sheen. So it's good that didn't happen.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'd have been like Charlie Sheen. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
And
you would have gone down a bad path.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. So I had to go out and do fucking real experiences. Here's the thing. I could go back into it now and do fucking great because I have a strong sense of character and personality. I know who I am. I really couldn't be corrupted. Not any more than I already am corrupted by that shit. But I'm not sure I could work in the Hollywood system either, because if somebody says something sideways, I'd probably punch them. You know. But I'd be great on fucking an independent project that had good money, and I liked it. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a great movie. I like the script and everything. I'd be great at that.
Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah, I'd do it probably for no money if I liked it.
You could get into theater or something like that.
Yeah. It's time consuming.
It is.
You got to go to rehearsals a lot.
It is very time consuming.
And most of the fucking plays have. I used to sing songs, I was in the musicals and stuff. So you got to do a lot of musical training, and boy, that's a pain in the ass too.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Some of the shows I had to do when I did Fantastics, I think I had 5 solos I had to do for Fantastics. I have that on tape here somewhere.
You need to find that shit.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
Yeah, it's in storage.
I want to see it. Might have to digitize it because I don't have the VCR no more.
It's kind of corny songs, but it's old shit.
I only remember. I think I saw the Fantastics, like the movie version, one time, but I don't remember a single thing about it. Full Metal Nosferatu said, "Tom, I'll get you cast in one of our horror movies."
All right, yeah, I like being in a horror movie.
Yeah,
just
that'd be super fun.
Depending on where it is. And
you probably got to be the villain though.
Yeah, that could be. No, I can do whatever they need.
You could be the Kane Hodder of independent film. Although I guess Kane Hodder is in independent films, isn't he? Wasn't he? Was in some shitty one that Brandon Tenold was talking about the other day. What was it called? Project Metal Beast or something? It was about like they turned a dude into a werewolf, but the werewolf had metal skin. Because why not?
I really wasn't paying that close of attention to it.
But he said, he's like, that's an amazing concept, and it's like they just farted around for like an hour or something before they even like brought the werewolf guy back from the dead. It's like, and they didn't hardly do anything with the concept.
Metal werewolf.
Like they're like, that would have ruled if they'd have just gone like balls out with it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You have like these great concepts and they don't really have the budget to execute it. So then you saw the same thing like in a lot of 50s movies where it's like they had like this really cool, it's like, okay, we have an idea like giant 50-foot woman, you know what I mean? Which is cool, but it's like they didn't really have, I guess, like the special effects prowess to do much with it. So like 3/4 of the movie is just dudes in lab coats like standing around talking about the problem and what they're going to do about it. That's why it's like there's something kind of charming about a lot of those 50s monster movies, but I swear to God, every fucking single one of them is like that. No matter what the big monster is, whether it's a giant cricket or like in beginning of the end, or a giant tarantula, or a giant flying turkey vulture thing like in the Giant Claw, it's almost all of the movie is just people like lumpy white dudes standing around talking about what they're going to do about
what they're going to do in an office,
and
then they're driving,
talking about
that's some wild shit, man, when you're making a movie about that.
And then every now and then like the monster will peek in a window at a girl or something.
You know what's funny is I would be a kid and I'd watch those as a kid back in the 70s. And it never really dawned on me that they were always just talking through the movie and that they were always in an office.
Yeah.
And it was always like this era of being official and an era of being authoritative.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, it sucks you into it. You're like, yeah, of course, the monster.
Wow, what are we going to do about this?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. And you don't realize that they're just fucking trying to fill time.
They're just trying to fill time. They're just trying to get to like feature length is what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's like we need another scene of like some lumpy white dudes standing around in an office talking. Or like on the phone talking about it like fucking.
Yeah, the one that wasn't like that though was Them.
Well, yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Well, that's why people remember that one fondly, you know what I mean? That's like probably the best of the big bug movies.
That was my dad's favorite movie as a kid until Alien came out. And he said that blew Them away.
Well, it did, yeah.
Yeah.
Alien blew most movies away.
And then The Thing came out, and he loved that too. Yeah.
Yeah, he had good taste.
He was like, he goes, I like the original, The Thing from Another World with the vegetable man, but this is much better. Yeah, my dad liked fucking Kurt Russell. Yeah.
The original Thing from Another World, it's a lot different. I know they're based on the same novella, but it was the constraints of the time. So the monster just had to be like a dude in a suit. And,
the thing is, I think the thing was more based on Who Goes There.
Yeah, they were both based on the same
They're-
novella. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Which came out in the 30s, I think, late
Yeah.
30s, early 40s. Can't remember.
And Carpenter put that in his apocalyptic series. Isn't that what he called it? Apocalypse series?
Yeah,
Where it's
or
like
the Apocalypse trilogy.
Apocalypse trilogy. A lot of people don't realize, or they don't have the information, okay, that the Thing is a Lovecraftian
Yeah,
tale. It's Who Goes There, but also it's a retold version of In the Mountains of Madness, which involved aliens at the fucking on Antarctica, and they find an ancient alien city, and in there they find some ancient frozen aliens, and some of them wake up, and one of the things that they find is something called a Shaggoth, and a Shaggoth is the Thing. The Thing was described by H.P. Lovecraft. It was just a big amoeba creature that didn't have any intelligence, and aliens had enslaved that race of them. They were just animals, and they used them in construction because those things could shape themselves in any way they needed to be. They were kind of gelatinous, but they could become fucking armored, or they could mimic anything that they touched. You could use them for mining and construction and all kinds of shit. The problem was they had never touched a sophisticated brain until they got on Earth. And they got a hold of a sophisticated brain, and the fucking Shaggoths shared it amongst themselves, and they became intelligent, and then they overthrew the old ones, which was the aliens that had enslaved them. And that's why the city failed. And the Shaggoth was just a gelatinous fucking swarming fucking big fucking blob of eyes and teeth, most of the time. And then if it could also imitate anything that it touched, but its natural fucking state was just like an amoeba with a bunch of eyes and teeth on it.
Well, I mean,
claws.
Carpenter was super into Lovecraft shit.
Yeah.
So. Michelle says, I've been in a couple low-budget, locally produced movies. So bad, but so fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd be really cut out for it. I was in a friend's zombie short film like a long time ago. And that was kind of fun, but it's like that movie was like 10 minutes long, you know what I mean? It wasn't, all I had to do was like drive a car down a street, and then I had to like turn into a zombie at the end and like have blood come out of my mouth and shit.
You do the show fucking many times a fucking week and do all this. You can do it easily.
Yeah, but it's just, I mean, but the show is just me. I'm not like acting like something else, you know what I'm saying? I have a hard time doing that.
You prepare for that.
Well, yeah, I know.
And you know what you're going to say. You could do it. I could easily coach you through it.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. Easy to do.
CB said...
I was fucking very good. I was talented. The thing is, though, is that's common. There are a lot of people that could do this. That's why a lot of those Hollywood stars are the way that they are. They have a lot of imposter syndrome. There's really nothing special about them. And their jobs are always in danger. They can be replaced easily.
Well, and I feel like some of them probably came up with people that they thought were better actors than them. And it's like, why did I get famous and they didn't, or something like that?
Sucking dick.
Yeah.
Sucking dick. Casting couch. Friends. Fucking, they're partying together. What makes you a great actor in American movies and Hollywood is fucking how much coke you bring to the set, fucking how much dick you suck. All right? That doesn't work in England. All right? In England, you actually have to be an actor. That's why those are the best ones. They take it seriously. Being an actor was never really taken seriously in Hollywood.
I always really liked...
just somebody they could pull off a fucking street. Slutty girls. That's what it is. Slutty. It goes all the way back to the 20s. Girls that normally would be escorts ended up fucking stars. And then when they got rid of them, they went back to being escorts. That's true.
I always really liked a lot of British actors because they don't... a lot of their actors just look like regular ass people.
Yeah.
They don't like... Yeah, some of them are beautiful or handsome or whatever, but a lot of the movies, like British movies, are just full of people that just look like regular ass people. Well, so they're a lot more
genetics has
relatable.
Genetics has a lot to do with it, with talent. And physical attractiveness and the talent that you need for acting sometimes don't happen in the same person. You're talking about it's more rare. The chances are fucking the talent for acting or the genes that you need for the talent of acting happen in a regular looking person. You know.
Well,
in
most
America,
people are regular looking.
In America, in old school Hollywood, I'm talking about in the 70s, 80s, 90s, really the best actor we had was Dustin Hoffman. Hey, look at him. There's nothing special about that dude. He was a pretty good actor. Was he great? No. He was good, though. He was good. The best thing he did was Rain Man. But I ain't gonna talk shit, but I could do Rain Man easily. I could do that. I just use method acting. I just switch into that mode and I'd be that character. I'd be totally immerse myself into that. I'd learn from other people who were autistic like that, and I would just become that. You're not thinking about it that much. It's just kind of, it's just like people who can dance really well don't think about their footsteps and how they're doing. It's just happening kind of automatically. I was looking at the Irish jig, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck I was looking at. I'd have to go through that slowly to learn to do those steps like that. And it would take quite a bit of effort because that's a stylized dance, you know. But when you see them do it, they're not thinking about it.
Because they've done it so many times.
They've done it so many times.
That it's muscle memory.
Yep.
That's kind of everybody, like everything you learn like that is just kind of, you just have to do it over and over and over and over again until you can do it without thinking about it.
But when I look back, all the fucking actors that I thought were fucking really good, real powerful, were British or European. Max von Sydow. The dude that played in all those fucking Sinbad movies and shit, fucking Flash Gordon, the guy who played Clytus. He did a lot of shit. He did stuff that was like in fucking like medieval type movies. Liam Neeson. He was in Excalibur.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he's good. Patrick Stewart, very good. He was in fucking Excalibur, Dune, and then he was in fucking Star Trek.
I was always a big fan of Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
That reminded me because him and Patrick Stewart are like best buds.
Yeah.
We're like best buds.
Right now, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy rocks.
Yeah.
I like Tom Hardy.
I got a mad crush on Tom Hardy. He's fucking really good. All the projects that he gets involved in, I respect his work. Even Venom, fucking Taboo, all that shit that he did, fucking really good.
Man, Taboo was good.
Yeah, he even did a great Bane. Fucking and the shit that he did as fucking Bronson.
Yeah.
That flick. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
And then next to him, I'd probably put Daniel Craig. He's pretty cool. I like that. He's good. And you know, I've seen him in a couple different. He was good in that mystery movie.
Yeah.
The two of those. What was that name of that movie?
Well, the first one was Knives Out.
Knives
And
Out.
then the second one was Glass Onion.
Glass Onion, yeah.
Like the Beatles
Ryan
song.
Johnson. Ryan Johnson. Don't give him Star Wars, but fucking, he was good with. He's a good director. Those were two very good movies.
That's probably more like what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
like murder mysteries.
And,
like old school Agatha Christie style murder mysteries, which I like those too. So
Daniel Craig with a southern accent. His southern accent's not that good, but
it was all right. It was a choice, and I was just like, okay, it was kind of stylized. That's all right. Even though he sounded a little bit like Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, that was.
That's okay.
That was a caricature.
Yeah.
Of a fucking southern accent.
Yeah.
Almost from like the 20s or 30s.
Yeah. I almost kind of expected him to go.
Sound that way.
I almost expected him to go like Belvedere.
Yeah.
Come here, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I was expecting. CB said a film director came to the bar because he thought we were all perverted.
Yeah.
He was making a horror film based in a bar like the one I go to, and he was shocked how normal we were and apologized for judging us. Here's the thing. I kind of feel like if you're making a horror movie or writing a horror story or something like that about a culture that you don't know anything about, probably you should go and find out some shit, which I guess he was doing in his defense. Because Yeah. I mean, like, I've seen some movies and stuff like that where they have scenes, like, in goth bars or something. I'm like, tell me you've never been to a goth bar before? You know what I mean? That happened a lot in the 80s, too, because I kind of feel like people thought that they were all, like, these dens of iniquity, and everyone was just throwing bottles at everybody, and there was chain link fence everywhere and shit like that. And I'm just like, yeah, not so much. But yeah. That's just kind of funny. Wait a minute. Somebody said, CB said Tom is the horror version of Dr. No. And then Papa77 said, no, Tom is the horror version of Dr. Evil. Full Metal Nosferatu says, Tom, if we ever do a sequel to our horror movie Brotherly Love, I'll mention you to my friend the director. He might still need casting for The House, which they're filming right now.
What state is that in?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Let's see. Oh, they're talking about that Cormac McCarthy book, Blood Meridian. That's one of the ones that it's just been on my to read list for such a long time. I really, really need to get around to that. Maybe I should write it down. Because I've really been meaning to read that. Like, I've read some of his other ones, but I haven't read that one yet, though. And everybody says, man, you gotta fucking read Blood Meridian. And I'm just like, okay, I'll get around to it, I promise. I'm reading one right now. Like, I started reading it, and I was gonna review it, and then I got busy with other stuff, and I had to stop halfway through. And so now if I'm gonna review it, I probably have to start over again, because I forgot what happened. But it was kind of like, it was an author that I had that I had read before, but I can't remember who. Oh, I remember. It was the guy that wrote that weird book, The Womb, or it was just Womb, I think. Ralston, I think was his last name. And that was like an extreme horror. That was really good, by the way, if you're into extreme horror. Not so much gore. It was just like really, really weird, like sexual stuff. And it was like an anthology, but they were kind of all linked. So, but that was really good if you're into extreme horror. If you're not, don't read it because it will probably like fuck you up. But he wrote one. This one is not like that. I think it's called The Puzzle House, I think, if I'm remembering it correctly. And it kind of reminded me of, if you guys remember that YA novel from back in the fucking 70s, I think it was, by Ellen Raskin, called The Westing Game, which is one of my favorite books from childhood. It kind of gave me that kind of a vibe, except obviously more adult and like way gorier. But it's kind of like that.
He said it's in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
What part of Massachusetts? You know, I lived there. I lived there for a while.
Yeah, he lived in Boston for a while.
Yeah, in Boston, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Full Metal also says Gary Oldman is probably one of the most brilliant actors I've ever seen.
He's good, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of fucking good ones out there, man. And then he said, growing up in the 80s, I used to be freaked the fuck out by John Lithgow, but in my adult life, I think he's a genius. Yeah, I just recently saw, I guess it's the latest movie that he was in, The Rule of Jenny Penn, and he was fucking great in that. I think I said in my review, he plays a New Zealander, and I was like, I'm obviously not from New Zealand, so I can't really judge, but I was like, I thought his accent was really good. Like, it didn't throw me out of it. Because I have a thing where, and I think I mentioned this in my review too, I have a thing where even if their accent is perfect, if it's an actor that I know, and I know that that's not really how they talk, then it kind of distracts me from the thing, and I just keep thinking about it the whole time. But he didn't do that. Because I know John Lithgow is not from New Zealand, obviously. But he was playing a New Zealander in that movie because that's where it was set.
The worst accent of all times is fucking Keanu Reeves' British accent.
Poor
from
Keanu.
Dracula. Yeah.
They just shouldn't have, I mean...
That guy never should have been in that movie.
Or, I mean, the thing about it is...
He made his money, though.
I was going to say he could have just used his regular voice, but the thing about it is his regular voice is so California.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, man. When
you know, it's a very, very California.
Although, I tell you what, man. Fucking John Wick would not be the same without him.
No, but like I said, he's really, really good in like certain types of roles.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and I've seen videos of him at the range. He's good. He's real good. Not trick shot good, but good enough at close range. Fast. Yeah, he's a good shot. Tom Cruise is too.
Yeah.
He can shoot. Yeah.
John Gore says, plus that episode of Twilight Zone the movie. Yeah, he played the part in Twilight Zone the movie that came out in the 80s. He played the guy on the plane that sees the man on the wing of the plane. You know, William Shatner played it in the original series, but John Lithgow plays him in the movie, and he's fucking great. He's so good in that. Like, he's just completely, like, fucking loses it.
Don't bite me too hard.
Yeah, Pookie bit Daddy earlier.
Yeah.
She doesn't usually bite, but Tom's kind of fucking with her.
When I scratch her in a certain place that feels good, she's going to come back and scratch me with her teeth.
Yeah, she goes...
Like, yeah.
She's like, yeah, scratch my butt.
Yeah. She love her tail.
And I think she got a little...
She got too excited.
She got too excited.
Yeah.
We had, actually, Bambi, our other little kitty. She has been... I guess a couple lizards got in the house.
Yeah, she killed 2 of them.
Because Tom found a dead one.
Yeah.
Or she brought a dead one out, and then...
No, I saw her sitting right there throwing it. She's throwing it around.
She must have came in the window or something.
And she's bragging. Look, I got it. I said, you good girl. You got it. I got it.
And then the next morning I found another one, like, with no head.
And then I found a fucking palmetto bug dead underneath my fucking bench.
Yeah.
Underneath the weight bench. So we got it. She's a good huntress, her.
Yeah.
She's fucking listening for things moving. Pookie won't kill a palmetto bug.
No,
She'll start screaming, ah!
Daddy!
And she'll start smacking. She'll smack next to it.
Yeah.
And try to get it to run away. And she won't touch it. It's too icky. Yeah.
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch him either.
Yeah.
But she likes to alert people. She's like, hey, do something about this.
Look at get it.
Get it. I'm not touching it. And I'm just like, I'm not touching it either. Fucking gross. Phil Metal says Lowell area.
Yeah, no Lowell.
Yeah, you know where that is.
Yep.
Jenny, speaking of, have you ever seen the Z horror movie Goth from 2003? Oh, yes, I have seen it.
Sounds familiar.
With Phoebe Dollar and distributed by Brain Damage Films. The movie angered a lot of goth people. I remember, like, way before, I mean, obviously it came out in 2003, so that was, like, way before streaming or anything. And I think I bought it on DVD just out of curiosity. And then I remember it, like, sucking pretty hard. But I haven't seen it, like, in a very long time.
Sounds familiar.
Because it's kind of one of those things where you can tell the person that made it didn't know jack shit about it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty apparent. Like I said, it was just kind of like all those 80s movies with the punk rockers as villains and stuff. It was like that level. But like I said, I haven't seen it in a really long time. So, but I remember really not liking it. I remember really not liking it. Yeah, Full Metal said, Lithgow in the Twilight Zone movie freaked me out. I unabashedly love Twilight Zone the movie. I probably saw it like a million times when I was growing up. It was always on cable all the time. I think my favorite segment, I mean, they're all good, but my favorite segment is the one about Anthony, you know, the one that's based on the kid wishing people in the cornfield.
Yeah.
Except this one is kind of like way better because the kid.
It. Yeah.
Well, no, because the special effects are really cool. It's like much creepier. The thing about it, the only thing I do kind of prefer. I don't know, because the original Twilight Zone one, it's called "It's a Good Life," I think is what the story is called. In the original one, the kid just wished people into the cornfield, and I don't think there was any. Was there any resolution? He just fucking did that, and it was like, oh well, I guess
he made the world disappear.
Well, he did in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's like he basically like just wished everything away, and I'm just like, yeah, good job, kid. This is why kids can't have fucking magic powers. You know what I mean?
Well, I think what it was is it was like a parent's frustration with fucking the demands of their own child. What would happen if the child had power over you?
Yeah. Which I guess they kind of do, but it's like a good.
But they couldn't make the world disappear.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Only the town existed. He probably just took the town out of the world.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the easier way to do it. And he could control what was on television. It was just dinosaurs.
Yeah, in the
movie. He
movie.
put his sister on there too. I think.
Yeah.
They evidently the television version had shit edited out.
Probably. They couldn't show shit on TV.
They couldn't show everything. Originally, I think he made his sister or one of his siblings appear on television, and they got eaten by the dinosaur. And
well, that's what happened in the movie version in the 80s.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know if that was.
I think that was originally supposed to be in the TV version. I think.
But what happened in the movie version was that his sister, and you find out later that none of these people are his relatives. They're just people that he kind of abducted, or he like made to come there and he wouldn't let them leave.
Yeah, in the TV program, they were his relatives, though.
But yeah, in the movie they weren't. They were just random ass people that he lured there, and he wouldn't let them leave because they were terrified of him.
Yeah.
So, which I thought was kind of better because that was like kind of scarier. But so his sister, who is played by Nancy Cartwright, who, fun fact, is the voice of Bart Simpson, she gets put into a cartoon, and a dragon eats her, like a cartoon dragon eats her. And he had another sister too. He had a real sister, and he said that she used to nag him all the time, so he took her mouth away. Oh, and he crippled her too. So she was like in a wheelchair, and she just didn't have a mouth. There was like nothing there. Yeah. And that used to like scare the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Creepy shit.
Like I wasn't a kid when I saw it, because when it came out in '83, I think. So I was I was 11.
In the television version, though, didn't he?
See, I remember the TV version being pretty mild.
He turned one dude into a jack-in-the-box.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the other guy made him wish it away to the cornfield.
Yeah.
I thought he did do something to his sister.
Now I kind of want to watch all the Twilight Zones again.
Maybe it was the sister that he threw into the television set, and then she got eaten by a dinosaur. I don't remember. Been a long time.
Yeah, because in the movie version, like all that was ever on the TV was cartoons.
Yeah.
And like he always made them eat like gross ass food, like with hamburgers with peanut butter on them and candy apples for dinner. Yeah, it's like and jelly beans or something. I don't remember what it was, but it's like shit like that. You know.
If you complained, he'd fucking do something bad to you.
Yeah, and it's like that was what was so awesome, because it's like if you didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like they have, hey now, I put that over there so
up.
that you wouldn't do that. She's like, oh, I found a way. But they introduce like an outsider character, like the teacher, whose name is Helen, and so she's kind of introduced into this world. And so when she comes into this house,
get out of here.
Like all of these people are clearly like terrified of this kid, and she can't figure out what the fuck is going on. And like I said, if you don't know what the premise of the story is, then you're sitting there, then it's like really intriguing, because you're just like, what the fuck is going on in this house? Like, why are they eating this weird food? It's like, why is everybody acting so nervous? And it's just like, it's really, really great. Like, it's a good build up. Like, all the stories in it are good. All the stories in it are good. But, the kick the can one is, I mean, it's got Scatman Crothers in it, so I can't lie to it. But it's not a horror story, really. It's just kind of like a touching nostalgia kind of stuff. But other than that, like, I love anthology movies, and that's probably one of my favorite horror anthologies. It's right. I mean, probably my favorite horror anthology is obviously Creepshow, like the original Creepshow, but that's a good one too. Oh, DVD Dragon's asking about what Stack was on in Sinners. I think you asked that before, or somebody did. Actually, you might have asked that on the Sinners review. Haida just said, I thought it was supposed to be a metaphor about living under communism. Maybe. Yeah, I guess you could read it that way. But yeah, I think more in the modern 80s version, it was kind of more like Tom said. Like, what if you have this kid who has really no moral compass yet? It's like they can just like do anything they want to do, which is a pretty terrifying thought. Yeah, that movie Goth, Full Metal Nosferatu says the killer's name was Goth. Yeah, that's right. I mean, even just reading that, like, just kind of made me cringe a little bit. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I mean, like I said, you can tell that whoever wrote and made that movie, like, didn't have an idea about anything like that. And probably didn't care to learn about it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, you get sort of fetishized, I suppose. It's not like it was, though. It was like that back in the day. Because remember when we were talking on the Lost Media show, when we were talking about Marilyn Manson and how a lot of kind of older school goth people really, really did not like Marilyn Manson.
In those days,
because of what he did to the scene.
Yeah, in those days, the culture was being filtered through very small amount of television channels, cable channels, and fucking radio. There wasn't an internet. So, too much weight was given to the opinion of television. that had a lot to do with it. Fucking, they showed something on television, people thought it was real. They didn't know what was true. So they showed Marilyn Manson, and fucking, well, shit, the goth people they're all like that. No. That dude was an outlier.
Yeah, like none of them.
He joined up.
None of
later.
them were like that.
Nobody was like that.
I didn't know anybody like that.
He joined up after the shit was already going on for a long time. Fucking, and he wasn't really accepted. Not really. He did eventually. I mean, they were playing his covers at the club. He had good covers.
Yeah, I do like some of his covers.
Like Sweet Dreams.
Yeah, that's a good cover. I will give him that.
Beautiful People was okay.
Yeah. I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, but the rest of it was just, that's not goth music.
No. Incidentally, David J. from Bauhaus and Love and Rockets did a pretty amusing cover of the Marilyn Manson song, The Dope Show, which I always thought was very...
That was also a good
very cool.
That was kind of a cool song. What are they talking about?
Like he did it almost kind of like acoustic. It's like I was kind of into it. Yeah, Full Metal says Phoebe Dollar actually compared the director of Goth to Oliver Stone. What the actual fuck?
What? Stone?
So, yeah, everybody. Now I'm kind of curious to watch that movie again. I might still have it somewhere because I'm pretty sure I bought it.
My favorite Oliver Stone movie to this day is still The Hand.
Yeah, that's a great flick.
Yeah, The Hand.
Man, there's so much to unpack.
And Conan.
There's so much to unpack in that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. It was a movie about toxic masculinity, but real toxic masculinity. Fucking great flick.
High Desert says, have you seen that movie Turbulence 3? A Marilyn Manson type rock star has his plane hijacked, and he has to overcome the dude and rescue everyone by flying the plane himself to safety.
Okay.
It's hilarious,
All right.
And the music is not that bad either.
All right, yes. What's it called? Turbulence?
Turbulence 3. Okay, was there a Turbulence 1 and a Turbulence 2?
Probably, the
or was it just one of those?
Like the Italians would do. Yeah.
It's like, we're just going to make a movie that has nothing to do with anything, but we're just going to call it like it's a sequel to something.
We're gonna call this one fucking Medusa 3. Yeah? What about 1 and 2? Fuck 1 and 2.
We just jumped right to this.
Jump right to third one.
We didn't need all that extraneous bullshit. Oh my god. Full Metal says it was like Snoopy's Thanksgiving dinner with jelly beans, popcorn, toast, and pretzels. Oh my god, I remember that. I don't know why I remember that so much, but yeah, that was that Peanuts Thanksgiving special. Like they didn't... What happened... I can't remember. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I can't remember. Did they burn the dinner, or did they just not know how to make it? Or some calamity like befell them, and then they ended up having to make like toast and jelly beans and stuff. And the whole thing in the message was, well, it doesn't really matter about the food. It's like as long as we're all together. I'm like, it's Thanksgiving. The food kind of matters. Sorry, I'm not eating toast on Thanksgiving. As awesome as toast is, you know, I want the whole fucking spread. Full Metal said, I think Turbulence 1 starred Ray Liotta, so there was a Turbulence 1. Yeah, he told me to dust off Goth and do a review. Okay, if I find it, I mean, I'm sure I can probably find it on streaming somewhere if I can't find the DVD. I haven't seen it in a long time, now that because I've got all my old DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff are like just on a shelf right over there, and then Tom has a big, huge shelf where we have a bunch of them too. Yeah, but I haven't seen it in a very long time, and that leads me to believe that I might have lost it at some point, like during a move or something. Or I left it at my old house and my ex-husband took it. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Yeah, High Desert says the Marilyn Manson character's name is Slade Craven. Because of course it is.
Yeah, of course.
Of course it is. It's like that. They put it in like the goth name generator, like on the internet probably. Have you guys seen there's a Giallo movie title generator? I can spend hours on that thing just like amusing the shit out of myself. But he says, and wasn't Rutger Hauer playing the hijacker? Now, the first one or the third one? Because I'll watch it with Rutger Hauer in it. That's pretty funny. Now, DVD Dragon asked, he said, I loved Sinners. And then he's asking you what stack do you think Stack was on? And asked if he was a natty. But I was like, didn't he ask that before?
I don't know.
Like on our review of Sinners?
I mentioned it, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he asked that, like on the review that we did.
You're not doubling up on questions, are you, bro?
Unless I imagined it, I don't really remember.
That guy. First of all, he's got good genetics. All you got to do is just look at his shoulders and his arms. And he was in Creed before, and he looked great in that too. I want to go back and see Creed. Was there a Creed 2?
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
Did we see it? I thought we saw it in the theater, but maybe we didn't.
Yeah, I want to see Creed.
I have to go back and look at our reviews. We've seen so many movies that I don't remember which ones we did and which ones we didn't.
Is he natty? No. Now, how old is he? I would say no. No. Anybody who looks outstanding, looks unusually good, is on shit, especially in Hollywood. He's got good genetics though, but it's probably nothing. He's probably not on anything fucking real fancy. It's probably just testosterone. He's just supplementing. He probably takes quite a bit, 300 milligrams a week, something like that. And every now and then, before he wants to do a roll, he might fucking fold in another 600 milligrams of something like nandrolone decanate or NPP, nandrolone phenylpropionate. You know, I don't think he's doing anything fucking like. Pokey, stop it. He's not. Look at her. She's tearing shit. He's not doing shit like Tread. He's not trying to get maximum size. He's just trying to get good definition. He's working out. Stop it. Stop.
Okay, Full Metal reminds me, it's like Peppermint Patty expected Charlie Brown and Snoopy to make a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. Like, Charlie Brown can afford a turkey. Right? Like, Charlie Brown doesn't even have fucking parents, right? He just has, like, people that go, wah, 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 wah. He doesn't have any parents. You never see them. So it's like, I can see how they just...
Well, the movie's for kids. You don't even want to see adults.
No, you don't.
No adults are in there.
I always kind of liked that. I thought that was kind of cool that they never showed any adults. It was just like their little world, you know what I mean?
You're in the kids' world.
Man, Peppermint Patty was so fucking bossy. What do you think was going on with her and Marcy? Marcy, because Marcy was very submissive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of feel like there was some shit going on there.
Okay.
I'm like imagining lesbian relationships between cartoon characters.
She's deep off into the lesbian world. She'll tell you, oh yeah, they were dyking out, man. They were dyking out.
That's like super funny. And remember, like, wasn't it Charlie Brown's sister Sally was like in love with Linus, right? And he was just completely clueless.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a long time. I don't remember.
Zach says there's a lady boner subreddit. And I've seen Wrecker Hauer show up on there a decent amount. And not gonna lie, he's not really hot to me. He's hot in certain applications. I thought he was pretty hot in Blade Runner.
Cyclist was wait, what? Sorry.
Wait, what? She wasn't listening.
We're talking about fucking Peppermint Patty and fucking...
And Marcy.
And Marcy. That's got to be some lesbian action. I mean, you need to analyze
Maybe, I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
I always
they were lesing out.
I always suspected.
They were dyking.
I always suspected.
Yeah. Well, they were wearing little fucking sandals, little Birkenstocks looking sandals.
Well, Peppermint Patty was for real a lesbian. I'm pretty sure.
The hair. Yeah.
She was just always super bossy.
Yeah.
I always liked her, though.
Lucy wasn't, though. She was straight.
Lucy was a bitch.
Yeah.
And she was just like a bitch for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what Lucy's problem was. I'm sure somebody out there on the internet has done, like, you know, intricate psychological profiles of all the Peanuts characters.
Oh, there's probably Peanuts porn.
Well, I can guarantee that there's Peanuts porn.
Yeah, all animated and shit.
Because there's every other animated show you can think of, there's porn of it. So Peanuts would be no different.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want to see that necessarily, although it might be kind of funny. But
Side quest answered.
Yeah, Cypress says Peppermint Patty is a lesbian icon.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, that's what I always thought.
Yeah.
That's what I always thought.
Yeah. I can imagine Peppermint Patty going down on fucking
on Marcy.
On Marcy, hell yeah. Marcy's just holding on for dear life.
Marcy with the little glasses.
Yeah, but she's better just
because you know it's always the quiet ones.
What's that?
It's always the quiet ones. Marcy was like kind of quiet.
Yeah.
That's really funny. What about, you know what? I always kind of remember this scene sometimes. But you know the one where they had the Peanuts movie where Charlie Brown went to the spelling bee? Yeah. And, you know, spoiler alert, but he does really good and he gets to the finals, but he messes up on the final word, which is beagle, which is what Snoopy is. And so he's just like, and like he messes up and everything. And the funniest part of that whole little movie to me was that Linus gives Charlie Brown his blankie, like, to take with him for good luck, because he has to go to, like, another city to be in this spelling bee. And the whole, like, the whole emotional turmoil that Linus goes through, like, giving him the blanket, like, here, and he's, like, taking it. And then, like, Charlie Brown takes it, and he has it in the hotel room, and he, like, loses it. Like, it gets stuffed under his bed or something, because he doesn't really give a shit about it.
What's up, Oracle?
And fucking Linus gets so fucking mad at him because he thinks that Charlie Brown lost his blanket, which is, like, his favorite thing ever.
SideQuest said it was the haircut and the sandals that give it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's wearing fucking Birkenstock sandals. Yeah. She called her sir.
She did, yeah, that's right.
Calling her sir.
Yeah, she called her sir. I had forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Full Metal says, Jenny, I have a theory. And it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. When Linus rolls the pumpkin in his house and Lucy stabs it, Linus cries she killed it. That was the Great Pumpkin. Wouldn't that be something? Man, I'm going to have to watch that again. I haven't watched it. I usually watch it every Halloween, but I haven't seen it in a couple Halloweens. Yeah, SideQuest Hero said she's like one pair of socks away from a lesbian high school PE teacher.
Yeah.
Oracle says, I'm doing good, Tom. Had that peanut chicken again tonight, the satay sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Thai peanut sauce is one of the best things ever.
We went to the Thai restaurant last week.
Yeah, we hadn't been in a while. There's a really good Thai restaurant in Mount Dora, which is only about 8 miles from us. What the fuck is it called? JK Thai Garden or something like that. It has like a weird name. And it's like two little restaurants. Like in the front part, they do sushi. Like you can get sushi in the back part too if you want. It's all the same kitchen. But they kind of have the front part, like that's where the sushi bar is. And then like in the back, we always go sit in the back like by the fish tank. And then, man, they have like the fucking... I had pad thai last time, but they have the best like massaman curry. Oh my God, it's so good. They have like this huge fucking menu. But every time I go... I'm just kind of like, man, I should try one of these million other things on here. But it's like, man, but that fucking massaman curry is so good. It's like, so I end up getting that like every single time. Every single time. But I mean, and we make Thai food at home sometimes too. But, you know, sometimes you don't feel like making it. You just want somebody else to make it. And they do really good. There was, like I said, there used to be a place. You know what? I think when we drove past there the other day, I think it was closed. I couldn't really tell because it was from far away. But there used to be one called Snay Thai. It is a tiny, tiny, tiny place. And it's just in this like shitty strip mall that had like a Big Lots and a rent a center. But it was like really good. I think because remember when we were going to the UPS store or whatever the hell, or the cell phone place to get your tablet fixed. We passed it, and I looked in the mall, and I didn't see the sign, but I could have just. I mean, it's kind of far away, so I could have just like not seen it. Yeah, Full Metal said, I think that explains why the Great Pumpkin didn't rise up from the pumpkin patch. That might be why. Lucy killed the Great Pumpkin. That sounds like some shit she would do.
You know, Bub, come here.
That sounds like some shit she would. Oh no.
Yeah, because she knows. I took the book away. I took it away.
She's like, there's more books over there, though.
Yeah. You try to fucking pull it.
She has completely... That's why, like, all my shitty, like, old thrift store books are on the bottom shelf, because she loves paper. If you leave, like, a pile of paper, like, old mail or something like that, she is just in heaven. She gets all up in that shit. Just...
I want to tear paper.
She's pulling it with her teeth and eating it, chewing little pieces. So it's like you come in and they're just, like, paper. Like, little chewed bits of paper, like, all over the place. They never get it... You know what? They never get into the toilet paper, though. Because you know how some cats are really into, like, pulling all the toilet paper off the thing? Roll, They've never done that.
Yeah.
But she really likes tearing books up. I guess, now that we've said it, she's like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And she's in the bathroom all the time because she jumps up on the bathroom counter because...
It doesn't make the noise.
Yeah,
paper
I think that's...
Make noise.
Yeah, she likes the crinkly noise.
Yeah.
She likes the crinkly noise.
Yeah.
She likes to... And she also likes to sleep on the remote control.
Like or any kind of control.
Actually, any kind of remote control, any kind of anything.
Fucking Xbox
she just goes,
controller. Yeah.
It just like lays her out. It can't be comfortable.
Yeah.
I had to pull it out from under the other day.
She'll lay on a tablet.
She was very peeved. She lays on Tom's shirts. She gets all up in Tom's
I
shirt.
try to take it away, and she's like, no.
She does that with the laundry, too, because
Yeah.
she loves laying in warm laundry.
Yeah.
So Tom brings his laundry up the stairs, and she hears it. And she comes and runs and jumps up on the bed. And then Tom dumps all the laundry on her. And she just sits there.
Speaking of, I got to put the laundry in the dryer.
Oh, you were doing laundry
I
today?
was doing laundry, yeah. It's been sitting in there. I'll go put it in the dryer real quick.
Okay.
What time is it?
9:21.
Okay.
It's early still. It's Friday night. Zach says, I saw an amazing Robot Chicken sketch where Linus gets kidnapped by What's-Her-Face from Peanuts, and it's a misery parody. They even did the Hoffling scene. Oh my god, I have to see that. See, I think the thing about it was that, well, wait a minute. Were Lucy and Linus brother and sister? Or am I remembering that wrong? Because Sally, Charlie Brown's sister, she was the one that had a crush on Linus, right? And he was just, like, completely oblivious. And then Lucy was always, like sitting on his piano, like, talking to him while he was playing his little piano. But I thought they were brother and sister. Were they brother and sister? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Because for a second, I was like, wait, did Lucy have, like, a crush on him? I was like, no, they were related. I thought they were related. CB said, Tom and Jenny, have you seen the video of a magpie going beak first into a woman's eye? I have not seen that. But I'm sure I'll probably have to look that up later on. It's like, yeah, it was Sally who did that. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's right. Oh, Schroeder is the piano player. That's right. Okay, I've got them confused for a second. Yeah, Schroeder. Lucy has a crush on Schroeder. That's right. And he was also oblivious, it seemed. That's right. I haven't seen Peanuts in a long time. But yeah. Man, I used to really like that the one where Charlie Brown went to the spelling bee. What was that one called? You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown? I think that was what that was called. I don't know why. I always really liked that one. I saw that like a bunch of times when I was growing up. And the whole thing about Linus giving Charlie Brown his blanket. I don't know why. That just fucking cracked me up so much. It still cracks me up thinking about it. Especially how mad he was when he thought that Charlie Brown had lost it. And then, like, Charlie Brown just pulls it out from under the bed and starts shining his shoes with it. And Linus, like, loses his shit. Ah! And he just fucking grabs it. It's so fucking funny. Man, I miss all those kind of fun. Because remember a couple, over at my Scare Salon channel, I did all those Rankin Bass stop motion Christmas specials. Like, I don't think it wasn't this past Christmas, but it might have been the one before. And I had forgotten how fucking delightful those were. None of them are as good as the Rudolph one that has the Bumble and Yukon Cornelius and all of that. And Hermie, the elf that wants to be a dentist. But I did that one, and I did what was the other one that I did? I didn't do Rudolph Shiny New Year, but I did the Year Without a Santa Claus, I think, was one of them, and there was one more. I just did the stop motion ones. I didn't do like Frosty the Snowman, even though I love Frosty the Snowman too, but that's like regular animation. Yeah, Full Metal said Charlie Brown liked the little red-haired girl. Yeah, that's right. She did not have a name. Did she not have a name? Did they ever show her? They showed her though, right? I thought they showed her. I just thought they didn't say what like her name was. Yeah, I can't believe that like Linus. I thought Linus was the one that played the piano.
Y'all still talking about fucking Peanuts.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. I used to like all those cartoons, man.
Yeah.
Fucking Lucy setting up her little psychiatrist booth.
Hey.
For 5 cents.
Stop it.
She would tell you what was wrong.
Why are you doing this?
Because she wants your attention.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
She wants your attention.
She made a noise.
She's fucking up Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Uh-oh.
That's what that is.
That's my old one. I bought that for my English class a long time ago.
You fucking up Jonathan Livingston Seagull?
Yeah.
Huh? Why?
She wants to eat the birds.
Yeah.
She's like, it's birds. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
Let me eat it. You're so silly. Yeah, Full Metal says, I think they introduced her in the Peanut CGI movie. Okay, maybe. Because I remember them mentioning her, like in the old ones. but I don't remember if they ever showed her or if they ever said what her name was. I thought they were kind of setting it up like a situation where Charlie Brown was like, I have a girlfriend, she lives in Canada, you wouldn't know her. I thought it was that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I thought they did show her at some point. I don't remember. It's been a long time. CB asked if we'd seen the video of a magpie going beak first into a woman's eye.
No, haven't seen that one.
Yeah. Full Metal said, raining like an SOB here, so I made shepherd's pie tonight.
Yeah, boy, it sounds good, man. I'm getting starting to get hungry.
It's so early still.
Yeah.
What would be a good Peanuts porn movie title? Oh man, I'll have to think of some shit. About that.
It's called Snoopy, Balls Deep.
In Woodstock.
Yeah.
Woodcock.
It's a beast movie.
Yeah.
Snoopy just tearing it up. Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to go look up Charlie Brown porn.
Yeah.
There's probably porn of like Charlie Brown and Linus. There's probably like a gangbang with all of them.
Man, I saw some Flintstones porn.
Well, yeah, I knew there was Flintstones
it was
porn.
good too.
Well, because a lot of people were kind of into like Wilma and Betty, you know.
Yeah,
what I
the
mean?
Wilma and Betty thing.
I mean, I don't think anybody wants to see Fred and Barney going at it, but you know what I mean. Some people are like, Wilma and Betty. Okay, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Then maybe
a cartoon strip.
Maybe even Dino gets involved.
It's a car
at some point.
It was a cartoon strip. For some reason, I don't remember what it was. Betty and Wilma. Well, they get it on.
Well, yeah, I mean,
there was always there was already some wife swapping that happened in the strip. The vacuum cleaner fucking went up Betty's ass. Fucking the vacuum cleaner was a little.
Did she say, "How dare you"?
No. The vacuum cleaner was like a little.
It's like a bird thing.
No, it was a little elephant.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It was a little elephant. That's right. I forgot all about
and one of the dinosaurs fucked her. The dog dinosaur. You know how their dog was a dinosaur?
Yeah, like I said, Dino had to get involved.
For some reason, they put.
I think you showed me this.
They were having a fucking. What was his name? Bam Bam was having his fucking bachelor party at the strip club.
Of course he was.
Yeah, he was getting married to Pebbles.
Yeah.
They're teenagers at this point,
I hope so. Because they were little kids in the Flintstones. That'd be a little weird.
And fucking Betty and Wilma are just like, oh no, we're not gonna let them fucking go to that strip club type. Just we're gonna make sure that fucking everything's. So they go there in disguise with little masks on. They're in their normal clothes, but they have little fucking masks on.
It's like fucking Clark Kent Superman
they're watching
situation.
Them party with the strippers and shit. And then some clients in there grab them and have their ways with them, but they have to try to blend in. Betty and Will, and then fucking they see these three dudes teaming up on fucking Betty and Wilma, and basically Fred is like, oh, look at those sluts over there, fucking we gotta get the marriage boy to get on this. So of course Bam Bam's doesn't know what he's doing. He goes anal on his mom. Fucking all kinds of weird shit happens. They're doing all this fucking freaky shit. Fucking Fred's calling them fucking sluts and shit. And the little bubbles coming out of her head like, you motherfucker, I'm your wife. They don't recognize them. It's just ridiculous.
Now I kind of want to see that.
Yeah. And then I got it on the other tab. I got it linked. And then they end up where they got to fucking sneak out the back to avoid detection.
Right.
All right. But they don't have any money because they forgot to bring all their shit with them. So they got to blow the taxi driver to get home. And then, they just skip over that. And then, now, there's a second part to it.
Oh my goodness.
The second part of it is when the Flintstones and the Jetsons meet up.
Well, yeah, you knew the Jetsons
kinds
had
of
to get involved.
Yeah.
Is the Great Gazoo in there somewhere?
I don't remember. No, he wasn't in there.
Thank God.
But in the Flintstones meet the Jetsons, fucking a teenage Pebbles and fucking and Judy. What was Judy Jetson's little fucking kid? The girl. I don't remember what her name was. They have a
Judy.
It might have been Judy. They have a fucking big lesbo scene and shit.
Yeah, Judy was the daughter.
The daughter, yeah, Judy.
Yeah. Wait a minute. How does the Jetsons song go?
Meet George Jetson.
Yeah. Jane,
his wife.
Daughter Judy.
Yeah, Judy.
And what's the kid's name?
I don't remember.
It just went right out of my head.
Those were
Elroy.
old.
Elroy. Thank you.
Yeah, Elroy.
Full
Yeah.
Metal Alchemist.
Those cartoons were old when we were kids.
Yeah, we just saw like reruns of
Yeah,
them.
they
We're
were
not
they were
that
from the
old.
60s. Yeah,
We're old, but we're not that old.
we're not that old.
Yeah, we just saw them like syndicated.
Yeah,
I didn't see the original.
they were good though. They were funny when you were a kid.
Yeah, I actually really liked.
Yeah.
I actually was kind of more into. I liked the Flintstones and the Jetsons were okay, but I liked Tom and Jerry a lot more.
I liked it a lot.
And I was super into like the Bugs Bunny cartoons. And honestly, I just did for my other channel, I did like a big long thing about like the scariest like Merry Melodies and like Bugs Bunny cartoons and stuff. And I rewatched a bunch of them, and that shit is still fucking funny. They're still funny.
I was big into Johnny Quest,
Yeah, I like Johnny
and
Quest.
we
too.
watched some of them, the first couple episodes of that, and they still kind of hold up. I remembered them being kind of adult, where they weren't talking down to you, so they were kind of for a kids program. They were pretty cool. I was big into that, and it did hold up. They are kind of as I remember them. I was big into the Herculoids.
I remember that.
Remember that? I was like, I loved.
I didn't watch it like regularly, but I remember
Herculoids.
it being on.
Yeah.
I saw it like
That was
several
taking
times.
place on an alien planet. So a human family ends up on an alien planet, and it's all fucking prehistoric. They had a big fucking rock, a big fucking gorilla. He looked like a stone gorilla. I think they
Yeah.
called him Rock. And then they had a fucking shit, man, we're getting all
Ooh,
kinds of
thank you very much.
Who is
That's
that?
from the Shaby.
Shady. What's up, Shady?
Thank you for another fun show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and you're very welcome.
Then they had a flying dragon that could shoot fucking lasers and fucking out of his eyes and
Was that the
lightning.
one? Was that the one with the shmoo?
Yeah, they had two schmoos, Gleep and Gloop.
That's right. They had two shmoos. Okay.
Yeah, well, they weren't really schmoos. Shmoo was another cartoon based on Gleep and Gloop.
Okay.
They were
Yeah,
like-
that's right.
Yeah,
I remember shmoo.
yeah. Gleep and Gloop. That's what I think their names were.
That's pretty funny.
And they had a damn triceratops where they had about 8 legs underneath the bottom of it. They could shoot explosive stones out of it.
Yeah, I
Fucking-
remember that.
Yeah.
I
The
remember
Herculoids. They had a real impressive intro.
I forgot that that's what it was called.
Yeah, Herculoids. I'm
But
thinking of that.
that was pretty funny.
Johnny Quest, the Herculoids. I was big into Land of the Lost, which was live action.
Yeah, I liked that too.
Yeah, I like that one. And man, there was a lot of them.
I watched a lot of cartoons. Back
Yeah,
then.
I mean, a lot of them I just liked, but some of them stood out, and those are the ones that stood out for me. Because some of that shit was from the 30s. You know, Looney Tunes was from the 30s.
Yeah, some of the Looney Tunes were old. I didn't like the older ones as much, but I always, like I said, I think I did 2 videos worth of, like, my favorite, like, quote-unquote scary Looney Tunes cartoons, like the ones
Yeah.
with Witch Hazel and, you know, the ones where Porky Pig and Sylvester,
Yeah.
like, go to that haunted house and, like, all the mice fuck with them and stuff. Like, those are fucking funny. There's a couple of those. I didn't do any Marvin Martian ones, but because I thought that was more sci-fi.
Yeah.
I should do like a whole video of Marvin Martian ones though, because those are pretty funny too.
I remember liking Scooby Doo, but I thought it was too wacky sometimes.
Yeah, I liked
It's like-
Scooby Doo as well.
Yeah.
I liked anything that was like scary,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't really
It wasn't
scary.
really scary, but it was kind of, you know.
But stuff, anything that was about haunted houses or ghosts or anything like that, I was all about
yeah,
that.
that was pretty good. Trying to think of some other ones from that era.
Yeah, Oracle says "What's Opera Doc" is a classic for a reason. Yeah, I had forgotten because I hadn't seen any of the Looney Tunes shorts like in a really long time. So when I was rewatching a bunch of them, like the Wearing of the Grin, the one where Porky goes to that castle in Ireland and like all the fucking
Yeah.
sinister leprechauns and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was watching all of those and I was like, man, these are still fucking great. They're still really, really funny.
There was a claymation one that I used to watch. It was kind of like Gumby, but it was called fucking David and Goliath. About a boy named David, and I think Goliath was a dog.
That was a Christian cartoon.
It was Mormon,
Or yeah, Mormon.
and I liked that one. It was good. It was just about general morality. You know, like don't bully kids, don't do
Yeah.
this, don't do that. It was just like it's kind of like Mr. Rogers.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Yeah. Yeah,
In
share.
short.
Learn to
In
share
short.
things. You know what I mean? If you find something and it's not yours, fucking give it back.
Yeah.
Don't try to find out who owns it. Don't just take it. Just morality stories. That was really good. Trying to think what else was that fucking. I don't remember much about Gumby. For some reason. Remember Blockhead.
Yeah.
And then what was the name of the horse?
Pokey.
Pokey, yeah.
I only remember that really well because on one of the Mystery Science Theater episodes, I believe it was The Screaming Skull, they did a Gumby short called Robot Rumpus.
Okay, yeah.
At the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And that shit was fucking bizarre. And like they had a fucking field day with it. Like their riffing on it was like so fucking funny. Because I mean, there was just so much to work with. It was just basically Mrs. Gumby, who doesn't have a name. Her name's just like Mrs. Gumby, I think. Or actually, the dad's name is Gumbo. So she's either Mrs. Gumby or Mrs. Gumbo. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And she hires some robots to do yard work. And of course, because they're robots, they go completely awry and start like tearing the house up and driving the lawnmower through the house and painting shit all over the walls and everything like that. And Gumby and Pokey have to stop them. Or no, I think... Okay, what actually happened was she wanted Gumby and Pokey to do all the yard work, and they were like, no, we're going to get these robots to do it, and then the robots fuck everything up. Because I remember, like, Gumby and Pokey got punished at the end. So, you know what I mean? Because they basically tore... I was like, I don't even know if their house is insured for that, but, you know.
But I liked all the Hanna-Barbera live-action stuff, too. They had one called Shazam. Remember Shazam? He run around and that was a good one.
Yeah, Full Metal brought that up. Shazam or Shazam the Genie?
Shazam, yeah. And then Speed Buggy.
Oh, I remember that.
Speed Buggy, yeah. It was another Hanna-Barbera.
Wait, that wasn't live action, though, was it?
It was live action.
I remember that being animated.
Uh-uh.
That was a long time ago.
And then HR Puffin stuff.
Oh, I still love that.
Yeah. And then Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
Yeah, I love that one, too.
Live action shit, yeah.
So fucking weird.
Weird. You had to be on acid.
They had good drugs in the 70s.
Real good drugs back then. He had a fucking Rip Torn running around. Was his name Rip Torn?
Which one? The one with the confetti?
The gay dude. Yeah.
No, that's Rip Taylor.
Rip Taylor. Yeah.
Rip Torn is a different
dude. Rip Taylor. Flaming his fucking ass off through the whole Child's movie, dressed as a sea man. A sea witch, or whatever. It was an awesome program. And it was about a...
We should watch those now, too.
Yeah,
I'm sure somebody's uploaded them to YouTube.
It was about a surfer boy who's probably about 12 or 13 and washed up on a fucking beach. Looked like a pile of seaweed, but it was actually a sea monster. And it's a little one. And it just looks like a pile of seaweed with a goofy face and fucking fangs. And it was being bullied by the other ones. It had fucking wicked brothers, or was it just other sea monsters? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
He befriends it, and then it turns out there's a whole undersea world that the surfer boy fucking finds. It was a cool flick. You know, when you're a kid, you're like,
I want to see it again. I haven't seen it since I was little.
Yeah.
I used to love that shit. Like I said, anything that had witches or monsters or anything like that, I was gonna watch that shit.
And there was another one, I think it was called Bananarama or something. No,
Banana Splits.
Banana Splits. That's right.
Weren't they all like in a little yellow car?
They were all they were in a car.
Or they were like, it was people in like big furry suits.
Big
right?
furry monkey suits.
Were they monkeys?
Yeah, I think they were monkeys.
Okay.
Human-sized monkeys.
Or they were like monkey adjacent. Yeah, Papa says the live action was Wonderbug.
No, Superbug. Wonderbug? Was it Wonderbug? I thought it was Superbug.
I don't remember. Like I said, it was a long time ago.
Because they were talking about the Super Beetle. Because what it was is it was a Manx. A Manx Super Beetle, which is you take a fucking Volkswagen Bug and put a more powerful engine in it. You take the fucking outer shell out and you put the fucking buggy chassis on it and you ride it around on the beach. It was called a Manx. I think it was called fucking Superbug. Let me see.
Oh, Full Metal remembers that MST episode.
What was that?
The one with the Gumby short. And the Screaming Skull was a really good... It's kind of a boring movie, but they had a lot of fun with it, and like the premise of it is just so ridiculous, like all of the fucking jokes. And all of the host segments they did where they tried to... Because at the beginning of the movie, they promise you that if this movie is so scary that you might die of a heart attack of fear, like while you're watching it. And if that happens, then the filmmakers would like to extend you a free coffin So that they did that like in the movie. So a bunch of the host segments were Tom Servo trying to scam a free coffin by saying that he died while watching the movie. And like they get the coffin delivered. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's called
like
Wonder Bug.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they say.
Wonder Bug, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it right. Wonder Bug. So I checked it. I thought it was Super Beetle. Super Bug. Yeah, Wonder Bug. I gotta go back and watch that shit.
Gramthers is here. Says Rip Taylor and Paul Lynde were the first gay dudes on TV who I realized were gay dudes.
Yeah,
I mean,
you couldn't hide it.
You'd have to be blind not to know that those were gay dudes.
Yeah, that was Wonder Bug. It was live action.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
Yeah, it was wild, boy. It was Sid and Marty Croft. Oh, you can get it on Blu-ray. They actually sell a toy of it.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
You can get pretty much everything nowadays.
Croft Super Show.
Now I'm kind of wanting to watch like a bunch of 70s shit.
Wonder Bug, you're correct.
Because I haven't seen it in such a long time. Like, it'd be interesting to like watch...
Yeah.
Like HR Puff and stuff. And
yeah.
Like, I remember the theme song and like a couple of what the costumes looked like and stuff, but I don't really remember any of the stories or nothing.
All right, Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
I remember what the sea monster looked like.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember the story or the premise behind it. Because I haven't seen that since I was, like, super little. Yeah, Oracle said it was the same bundle of shows that had Dr. Shrinker and Electro Woman and Dinah Girl.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Electro Woman, Dinah Girl.
Yeah.
And that was a lesbian shit ready to happen. There's
yeah, there you go. Look how cute he is.
Yeah. Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
I want a little Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
Yeah, it was an Electro Dinah Girl. I'm going to fucking look at that shit.
I wouldn't mind having like a little plushie of that, actually. That would be super cute. I have a plushie of Mothman, by the way, in case you didn't know. I just came across it on Amazon one day. I'm like, oh my god, I have to have that. It wasn't expensive, so I was just like, let's see.
Yeah. This is some shit that fucking... Electro Woman and Dinah Girl, that was some shit that fucking...
Yeah, I remember hearing about that, but I don't know if I ever watched it or not.
That's some shit that fucking... there they were. They were cute. That was some lesbian shit waiting to happen there. It was
probably
wild...
all the little boys that
all
were
the little boys
were
like,
just
oh,
waiting.
they're going to get it on.
They're
Eventually.
like, one day,
yeah,
they'll rub their titties together.
Yeah.
They're kind of
there they were. Electro Woman, Dinah Girl. It's kind of like Batman and Robin.
Sad, like back in the old days before porn was ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Like little kids, if you didn't have access to porn magazines or anything like that, you just had to wait on TV for like something exciting to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe you'll see a nipple poke through her shirt or something.
Look at Dinah Girl. Look how cute she is. You know y'all had hit. Y'all know y'all had hit.
Your little ponytail.
Yeah.
Oracle says Amazon Prime has the Croft Super Show episodes. Okay, so I'm gonna have to like check that out.
Amazon Prime, okay.
Yeah. Because now I'm kind of like now I kind of want to watch all that stuff.
One thing about them is that they were very lighthearted, fast, and fun.
Yeah.
They were just there wasn't much to it. It was music and fast-paced bullshit. Okay, let me see Banana Split.
CB said watch Rainbow.
The Banana Split.
Kids TV show from the 80s. It had a pink hippo called George, and it was obvious he was gay as fuck. Yeah, I don't know. Do we have that over here? It doesn't sound that familiar, but I mean, I might have seen it. I saw a lot of shit when I was a kid.
That's the Banana Splits. Remember, I told you they were.
Yeah.
It's monkeys and dogs and elephants.
Yeah, it was like they weren't all monkeys.
They weren't. Yeah, I just remember the monkey. And they played instruments. And they had adventures and shit.
La la la.
Yeah.
La, la, la.
70s, man. 70s. Look, man, that shit's got a fucking... What? It's a horror version.
It's kind of sinister, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like that fucking Five Nights at Freddy's or like Willy's Wonderland kind of vibe. It's like those Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, you know?
It was.
They were super
It was
creepy.
all drug induced.
I
man.
mean,
they were
know.
fucking taking all kinds of acid.
Like when you watch that shit nowadays, you're like, holy fucking crap!
Yeah.
What the hell was going on back then?
LSD.
LSD was what was going on.
Yeah. LSD. I'm gonna show the Herculoids. See if anybody remembers these.
I mean, I remember that because I specifically remember the Triceratops, like they shot rocks out his little horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, American Military said they made a horror parody of the Banana Splits in 2019. Yeah, they did, and I kept meaning to get around to watching it, but I just never did.
See Gleep and Gloop?
Yeah,
And
see?
then
The
the rock.
see?
Yeah, Gleep and Gloop. I think it's what they're called, Gleep and Gloop.
Yeah,
And then they have the dragon in the back and the Triceratops behind the family, and then the fucking rock gorilla. Yeah, that was a good one, man. When we were a kid, you're like, oh, yeah.
We're going to find that.
We're going to have an adventure on another planet, man. And fucking mom and dad, and your mom and dad are there, everything. And mom, of course, is fine, and dad is jacked.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, look at dude. Hold on.
Tom's lesson after cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude's all jacked.
Like, we could wear clothes, but why?
Yeah.
Papa77 says, Fraggle Rock. Oh my god, I love Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
I love Fraggle Rock. Wembley and the Terrible Tunnel is still, like, my favorite episode of that show.
There's a better...
And I loved the Doozers, also.
There's a better animation of them. Yeah, dude's jacked and shit. Fucking, it's the fucking human family that ended up on the barbaric planet.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Fraggle Rock?
No. I was already grown by the time that
Jim
came out.
Henson. Well, I mean, I was kind of grown, but
Yeah.
it was still good.
Yeah.
Because I like Jim Henson shit. I'm not, you know... I don't need to be adult all the time. Yeah, I need to go too, but
All right.
I guess I gotta... I need another drink, too. It's still early. Gramper says there was a kid show in Detroit in the 70s called Hot Fudge Detroit, where they would say terms like jive-ass turkey and cold-ass honky. It was the best. Oh, my God. One of my favorite... Okay, so, you know, like I mentioned earlier, like, I'm a huge NST3K fan. I'm, like, a complete dork about it. I've seen every episode, like, multiple times. And, my favorite thing... I love all their episodes, but my favorite things... I love the 70s and 80s movies the best. One of my favorite ones was they did... the pilot of the Gemini Man. I think that was what it was, right? No. The one I'm thinking of is the one where there's a dude and he's driving some kind of explosive something or other, like in a truck. Riding with Death. That's what it was called. And it was like the redneckiest, most 70s fucking thing. Everybody was calling everybody turkeys. It was just, I don't know why that was a thing in the 70s. Why did everybody call everybody a turkey? I remember that. That was like a big thing. You turkey. I'm just like...
You gotta go to the restroom, go ahead.
Okay.
And I'm gonna show him something.
You're going to show him
I'm
something?
showing him something. I remembered another one.
While I'm gone?
When you come back, you'll hear.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
I'm gonna show you
trying to
another.
hide some shit from me or
No, she think I'm gonna pop my dick out. They gonna have to fucking pay to see that shit.
Well, it's like,
They
well,
had to
probably
pay
not
to see
big
that
deal.
shit.
It's like, I've seen your dick lots of times.
Yeah, we got the shit recorded on the video, man. All right, I'm gonna show you one. See if y'all remember this one. I'm thinking of all the Sid and Marty Krofft style live action programs that I grew up with. And if you're young, if you're youngsters out here, you didn't grow up during the 70s, you didn't go back and watch these, okay? This one was called Arc 2. That's not the same Arc 2. I'm thinking of what's up, come on. I'm trying to get I got to get the spelling right. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to show you. This is a terrible photograph of it. But that's it right there. Arc 2. And it was...
What I missed? Well, wait, I'm going to go get a drink.
Yeah, go ahead and get one. I'm going to try to find a better picture. Here you go. Here you go. You can get the complete series, evidently. Arc 2. And what this was, is it was a series that was, in some ways, was kind of like a children's version of Star Trek. It seemed to be based off of a movie that they had Georgia Part in it for a while. It was called fucking Damnation Alley, where the worlds had been destroyed and they're in this survival vehicle and they're running around trying to find a place to live. That's kind of what Arc 2 was about. The dude that piloted the vehicle, it's a futuristic vehicle in a post-apocalyptic world. Wherever they go, they find all this fucking weird shit. Mutants, monsters, people in trouble, whatever. And the guy who pilots the vehicle's name is Noah. So it's the second arc. You're trying to rebuild civilization. They got a chimpanzee with them that talks. And it's a real chimpanzee. But they just dub in fucking... He can go blah, 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 like that, and they'll dub in his voice, and he's intelligent.
No, he could really talk.
Oh, yeah. He's a genetically engineered fucking... He's a genetically engineered chimpanzee. So that's another one I want to revisit. Arc 2.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Did I show it to you? Did you see it?
No, I was in the bathroom,
Okay,
and then I was getting a drink.
In a way, it was kind of like Star Trek, or kind of like the... Oh, shit, one of my lenses fell out.
That happened again?
Yeah.
His lenses are always falling out.
Lenses fell out of the glasses.
You paid a lot for those glasses. I don't know why those
like
lenses
a
fall.
$400 fucking pair of glasses.
Papa77 said, up here in Seattle, we had a kids show called JP Patches, and they were drunk on live TV.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I don't remember that one.
That might have been local. Yeah, Oracle said the chimp's name was Adam.
Adam, that's right. That's Arc 2. And they had that vehicle.
I don't remember that.
It's kind of like the same vehicle from Damnation Alley.
I don't remember that.
They rode around in that thing. It was a real vehicle.
It kind of looks like the Logan's Run TV show.
Kind of like the Logan's Run television.
Bit, yeah.
Kind of like and that's another one. If you haven't seen the Logan's Run television show, I got it on DVD. It's good.
We reviewed that. Actually.
A lot of the same writers as Star Trek, the old Star Trek. The stories aren't always real original. Like they redo The Most Dangerous Game, where you're hunting.
Well, I mean, that's a good story.
And,
that's been made into a movie 40,000 times.
And the alien costumes and the costumes aren't real good. They're on par with like old Star Trek, but it's fun series. And they have the chick run around in that fucking super short micro dress. Remember what was her name? Jessica, wasn't her name Jessica?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jessica.
Can't remember the actress's name though.
Yeah.
Not offhand.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. That was a good program.
Yeah, we have the whole...
I got the whole series.
We have the whole series.
It didn't get renewed. Star Wars came out, and that was the end of fucking Logan's Run.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That was a good series, though.
Yeah, it was good. Well, it was good writing.
Honestly, it's like I'd seen that movie lots of times when I was growing up, but I had no idea that they made a TV series of it.
Until
much later.
In that series, a guy appears, and he's one of the guys from The Thing.
Yeah. That dude's in fucking everything.
He's in everything. He shows up in there, and he plays a cyborg, an android.
Yeah.
And that android, what was his name?
It was short.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway.
Something.
That was the original Data, if you know Star Trek.
Yeah, he's kind of like Data.
Just like Data from Next Generation.
Like
Data
he's real nice and like good natured.
Yeah.
And...
Rem,
there you go.
Rem.
That was the name.
Yeah, Rem was like
close.
one of the... Once Rem got introduced, he was like the best character on the fucking show.
Yeah, I don't even really remember the main guy.
Logan.
Yeah, but he wasn't that compelling.
No, just kind of a fucking stand-in
like
action guy. Yeah.
The android was like much more.
Yeah,
interesting.
the android was a lot more interesting. He was a lot more intelligent than them.
Yeah,
he was.
But he was a good guy. He wasn't like a creepy. Mm-hmm. Like I said, he was very good natured, like Data.
Yeah. Well, he was a lot more intelligent than a human being, and Jessica and Logan, they were ignorant. They grew up in that city. They only knew what they were told. But Rem knew a lot more.
Yeah.
He knew history.
They didn't even know like the outside.
They didn't know Rem knew everything.
Oh, so like when you talked about popping your dick out before, CB said, "Why would we pay for a 2-inch viewing?"
Shit. You can get 7 inches of that shit in your fucking eye.
Boink.
Got proof
in
of that.
3D.
Got proof of it, bro.
In 3D.
It's not all bullshit. We sell erotic video.
I mean, we got a few up there.
Yeah, we got Suvi up there.
But they probably got buried underneath all the other stuff. But
well,
eventually,
to make money doing that, we do it mostly just for street cred, just because it's fun. We like to do it. But to make money on it, you got to constantly be on X, constantly fucking plugging it and sending people to it. And we don't have time for that shit,
I don't
man.
have time for that.
You have to have thousands of fucking videos, fucking 10 years worth of work.
Yeah.
And you had a huge fucking footprint.
Like I said, it's work just like anything else.
Yeah.
I know that some people like
You think
disparage
that there's no work.
It's like, oh, all you got to do is like flash your titties and you make all this money. No,
No.
you don't. No, you
No, it's
don't.
regular sales and marketing like everything else.
You have to, like I said, because there's a lot of people doing that.
Yep, you got to compete.
So you got to hustle just like anything else, and it's
Yeah.
fucking work.
Yep.
Just like-
and really, the rewards
Just like
aren't that good.
Not really, no.
No.
Like I said, we never made all that much money. And
No.
well, like I said, we were only kind of doing it half-assed, like in between other things.
Yeah. We made
So-
more money streaming.
Yeah,
Streaming. And we were doing other things at the same time, but...
that was
make
just
lot
like a
more-
sideline.
Yeah, you make a lot more on streaming platforms.
Yeah, and we just did that when I was like, you know, had some
In between jobs.
rough months when I was in
Yeah.
between clients or in between
Yeah.
jobs. You know what I mean? We just did that like to make some extra money, but
Got to make bills.
yeah, I mean, you know, and I was like, I actually had fun. I had fun doing it.
The problem with it is that you just spend most of the time waiting. You're just sitting there in front of a
Yeah,
camera.
it's kind of boring. It's kind of boring.
Gets
It's
boring.
mostly kind of boring
Yeah.
because it's like I can understand now, like
Yeah.
why when you go like on some of those like ChatterBait or whatever, it's like sometimes you just see people just straight up just sitting there on their phones. Like I get it.
It is boring.
You know what I mean? It's just like waiting around for somebody to like pay you to do something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, so I can see why people are just fucking, it's like, well, I might as well get some other shit done
Yeah.
while I'm here fucking.
Trying to think of some other programs that we need to watch again from back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot. Arc 2, like, I want to
Yeah.
watch Sigmund and the Sea Monster.
Sigmund the Sea Monster. Yeah.
I
I
definitely
really
wanna
don't
see
give
that.
a shit about Banana Split. That was
No, like, I didn't,
Yeah.
I never really got into that. Like,
Yeah.
I know that's a really popular one.
You saw Sigmund the Sea Monster?
Yeah.
You saw it? Yeah.
Yeah, when I was little.
I wouldn't mind seeing what was it called? Wonderbug?
Wonderbug.
I wouldn't mind seeing Wonderbug.
I don't remember it,
remember.
but if you show it to me, I might remember
And
it.
Shazam. I want to see Shazam.
I think I saw that,
Yeah.
but
I'll show you. Shazam was a Mexican American Chicano superhero in a Winnebago, running around helping shit. He was kind of like Superman. And then the movies came out and it was good.
or
Pretty
like
good.
Samson the Silver Mask Man.
Yeah, but the thing is that he wasn't a child who changed into something else, like in the movie.
Because you know, El Santo was like
Yeah.
in a bunch of movies,
I guess maybe he did.
fighting all kind of monsters and stuff.
There's Shazam.
Oh yeah, see. Well, yeah,
I
the
guess
whole
he did.
character was
Okay,
like
yeah.
he's a kid
I guess
that
he did.
turns into an adult.
I didn't remember that.
That was kind of the whole
I didn't remember that.
thing of
Yeah.
this of the character.
Yeah. I remember the old guy that used to run around with him in the Winnebago.
Yeah, Oracle said Wonderbug is in the Croft Super Hour package they have on Amazon Prime. I know because I saw it the other week and felt very old.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see because somebody mentioned earlier that I think it was American Military said, "Hey, you want to feel really old? Like it's the 45th anniversary of Friday the 13th," and I was just kind of like, "Yeah, like in a way that kind of makes me feel old, but I don't know. I don't really think about it like that. I guess
That's the cast to Shazam. Yeah.
they're all posed and shit.
They're all posing.
That's funny." Full Metal said I mentioned Jason of Star Command
Jason Stark
with Sid Haig
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
Gorton's Fisherman
Yeah.
as Jason, 70s CBS afternoon show. I
remember that.
vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it was okay. Although I think I remember liking Buck Rogers in the 21st Century better.
Yeah, I
'cause
kinda remember
had
that.
Erin Gray in there, and she
Yeah.
was fucking fine as hell, man. The young Erin Gray. Yeah. I was looking at her, well, man, she's pretty.
I remember her.
Yeah. Let's see if I
Wasn't
can
she on
find it.
wasn't she on a sitcom in the 80s?
I don't
Was she
know.
on Silver Spoons with Ricky Schroeder?
I don't know.
Or am I high? Am I thinking of something else? Or Rick Schroeder, as he liked to be known later on. When he wasn't a kid
There's
anymore.
Buck Rogers in the 21st Century.
Yeah, there you go.
70s program. I think it was 79 to 81.
Yeah, I kind of remember that one.
Yeah.
CB is talking about, we had a kids show, TV show called Tugs. It's fantastic. It was set in the 20s in the docks of what looks like New York. You can get all 13 episodes of Tugs on YouTube. I recommend it, even though it's for kids. That sounds kind of cool, actually.
Where is that?
Yeah, she was on Silver Spoons. Okay, I'm not high. I did remember that right. Because I knew she was on something later.
Y'all remember that little robot?
Yes.
The little child robot? Yeah.
Although for some reason, that fucking robot reminds me of that fucking Stick song, Mr. Roboto.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a robot that looked kind of like that in the video?
Kinda.
Or again, am I high?
Got a little dickhead. His hair looks like a
He's
fucking
got a
penis.
little dickhead.
He's got a fucking dickhead. His hair looks like a penis. Looks like a circumcised penis.
Now you can't ever
Yeah.
unsee that. You're welcome.
It's a little boy that looked like a circumcised penis.
He kind of looks like the Golem
Yeah, a little bit.
from the Silent movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I
little
remember
bit.
him looking like, and he carried that fucking guy on his chest. It was a supercomputer that could talk like it was an old man's voice. that
Yeah,
come out.
that's right.
Remember that?
I
Yeah.
forgot all about that.
Yeah. Doctor something or other. Not Dr. Zaius, but Dr. something or other.
Full Metal says, speaking of Friday the 13th, Erin Gray was in Jason Goes to Hell. Man, I forgot all about that. I've only seen that movie one time.
Erin Gray was smoking hot in her day, man.
Literally.
Yeah.
Papa 70 said Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. Yeah, that was like a Daffy Duck cartoon.
Yeah. Here's Erin Gray. Erin Gray's fine ass. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Looking like a stewardess.
Yeah, looking like a stewardess.
a little bit.
Looking like a stewardess, yeah. That's how space looked back in the 70s. That was some space age shit. Even though you look at it now, it looks like just a regular fucking disco outfit, stewardess.
We were kind of cracking up because I was watching, like I said, we've been watching some old Brendan Tenold episodes, and he covers like real shitty movies.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the one that he was talking about, but it was kind of like a sci-fi, like Star Wars kind of ripoff. And the hilarious thing about a lot of the Star Wars ripoffs is that they didn't do the thing that Star Wars did, and that Alien did also, that was kind of like so revolutionary, was like making the future look like lived in.
Like it was lived in.
And like people just wearing regular shit, like practical shit, like forever what their job was. Because I kind of feel like a lot of sci-fi movies kind of more took a cue from Flash Gordon, where it's like people wore these ridiculous outfits.
Yeah.
Like just to do like, hey, we're going to go explore this planet, but I'm wearing this thing with all this fucking spikes and big poofy sleeves and shit like that on it.
This is how I remembered her. Looking more like that. The promo photos don't really show.
I always remember that she had darker hair.
Yeah.
But maybe that was bleached. I don't know what color her real hair is.
Look at that crotch. What the fuck, man? What the fuck is all that? They were popping back then, man. That's why I liked it.
Oh, that's the whole reason.
It had to have been the reason.
Because of the
I was
because
a kid,
of the prominent labia.
I could just pick up on that, and I was just going like, God, man, let me zoom into that shit.
Let me zoom into.
Well, see, you got that line going down there.
Yeah. Oh,
see that line?
I see. Okay.
It's not my imagination.
Yeah, they did that on purpose.
They did that shit on purpose. There's a line. There's a seam.
Like she's got underwear on over her pants.
Yeah. There's a seam right there. They were genius, man. They were genius in the fucking 70s.
That was some subliminal shit right
Subliminal action going on.
Look at my crotch.
Yeah.
Sorry, if you know anything about MST, you'll know what I'm talking about. I just say random MST lines like all the time, sorry.
See, no. She mostly looked like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like she had like slightly darker hair.
No, it was light. It was both. I guess it probably depended on what season it was, yeah.
Well, oh my god. Bambi just went running by.
Yeah.
Where have you been? Were you behind the curtains? She's farting around behind the curtains. CB said there was an American version of Doctor Who, but it only lasted one season because it didn't get the ratings they wanted. And to help the kid found out the old man was a bad guy, but I can't remember what it was called.
I remember that. That was in the 90s. Or was it just it might have just been a movie.
I don't remember.
I remember a movie on television because there was an American Doctor Who, and the Master was in it. But I don't think it was a season. I think it was maybe like a 1 or 2 part show or a movie. I don't remember it being a series.
And
it was like real shallow. It wasn't long enough for them to really go anywhere, and they fucked some shit up about Gallifrey and shit. I don't remember all of it. It was like an American Doctor Who. It could have been good, but I think that program was a pilot. They were trying to see if they could make a show. No, Doctor Who is not an American thing.
Full Metal said Eric Roberts was the Master. Really? That's
In
interesting.
what? In
In the American Doctor
the
Who.
American Doctor Who?
That's a little weird, isn't it?
Who is that?
You know who Eric Roberts is?
Who's
Isn't
that?
it? He was in Barfly. That's what I remember. Wasn't he in Barfly? And wasn't he in Star 80?
I don't know. I don't remember.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's related to Julia Roberts somehow.
All right.
He's a character actor. He's been in a fuck ton of stuff. You'll recognize him if you see him.
Yeah.
Like, look him up. You'll recognize him. But that's a little weird. I kind of feel like that's a little weird. I'm not real well versed in Doctor Who. I've only seen like episodes here and there. But that's kind of crazy. Full Metal says some of the jumpsuits from Star Trek TMP were a bit too revealing. Yeah, I mean, you know.
You mean TNG, the Next Generation.
TNG probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It says TMP. Probably some people needed to wear a cup. Is all I'm saying.
I think all that shit was fucking well thought out.
Well, probably.
They wanted nudity, but they couldn't quite do it.
It's like, well, we can't show you nudity, but we can just like have this really tight clothing that like leaves nothing to the imagination. For some reason, that reminded me of another movie that they did on MST, which was actually a Japanese movie, and it's fucking terrible. And it's, what the fuck is it called? Prince of Space. It's called Prince of Space. And the villain is the Phantom of Crankor. And they kind of look like chickens a little bit. Like, I mean, they're people, but like the outfits they're wearing kind of look like chickens. And he has like this really, really funny, I don't know. They, like I said, they made like a lot of chicken jokes throughout the thing. But one thing that they did notice was that all of the Crankorians, whatever they were called from that planet, they wore these jumpsuits, and they all could have used a cup or some underwear or something, because she was a little baggy. It was a little there was some weird shit going on, like in the crotchular region. It was a little upsetting. You know what I mean? Which they did make jokes about also, because it was very, very obvious, and not in like a hot David Bowie from Labyrinth kind of way. You know what I mean? Like not an on purpose kind of way. It was kind of more of, we don't have enough cups to go around sort of way, or enough dance belts or whatever the fuck. They were just like, there's like these fucking sort of baggy ass jumpsuits with like these kind of just floppy dicks around in there, you know. Yeah, Full Metal said Princess Space was a hilarious MS. I mean, that movie was just holy fucking shit. Like, what the hell? I know they made it for kids, but holy crap, that was like one of the dumbest fucking things ever. And didn't they did another one like that was similar, but it wasn't quite as funny. It was like way more boring. But Prince of Space was
that was
delightful.
That was a Japanese one, right?
Yeah. And that dude Crankor, he just like he laughed like that.
Yeah, the guys in the blonde wigs, Japanese alien dudes in blonde wigs with helmets
and lipstick.
And lipstick.
That was a little weird.
Yeah.
No. That was they did do that in Prince of Space, I think. But there was another one. Man, what was that other one they did? That it was actually not a movie, but it was like a series that they compressed into a movie. Shit, what was that one called? I'll think of it in a minute. But yeah, they had a thing where they had helmets on and they all had blonde wigs on it. Like it wasn't explained.
No, that's what an alien looks like. They look like white people. White people with long hair, hippies. That's what the Japanese thought.
With beautiful.
Well, didn't you see what they did? To
they're
their
Brett
noses?
girls.
They also gave them big noses and shit.
Well, that was Prince of Space, where they gave them. Well, that's why they kept making chicken jokes like throughout the whole. Like the MST guys kept making chicken jokes throughout the whole thing because they put those big beaky noses on them.
Yeah. They're fake white people.
But I was talking about, because it reminded me of like the revealing costumes, because everybody in Prince of Space, like the jumpsuits, I said they needed cups or dance belts or something. Because you could see some shit like flopping
Was it
around.
jiggling? Yeah. I didn't notice.
It was kind of jiggling.
I don't look there.
I mean, it was very... Well,
thing.
it was like super obvious.
That's funny.
It was super obvious. And they kind of pointed it out too, because they're just like
what?
About how they needed a cup. But, you know what I mean? It was the whole thing. But yeah, that was like fucking... Yeah, Fugitive Alien, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Fugitive Alien was the one where I think it was a whole series. And then I think on MST, I think they did 2 of them. But this was a huge long series, evidently, but they cut it down to like 2 movies, so it made absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever, as a lot of that shit did. Because wasn't it? It was just kind of this whole thing where, like, American distributors would buy these cheap ass Japanese series and then cut it down to movie length.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so they show the movie and it's like, it makes fucking, you're like, what the fuck is going on? It makes absolutely no sense because they've cut like hours and hours of it out.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fugitive Alien, that's right. That was an older one because that was a Joel. Those were Joel episodes.
Let me ask you this: you gonna get hungry? You getting hungry tonight?
Probably, yeah.
All right. Do you want to go to Circle K, get something to eat? Want to make something here?
It's up to you.
I wouldn't mind getting a sandwich up at Circle K. They got fucking. What time does that close? It's on probably about time to go.
Their Subway is open until midnight, I believe.
Is it? Oh, okay.
I mean, Circle K is open all night. It's open 24/7.
They got a Subway in
but
there,
the Subway is open until midnight, I think. Yeah, Sandy Frank Productions. That's what it was. Sandy Frank.
I say
Sandy
we go
Frank.
and get us a sandwich and come back and fucking watch some shit on television and go to sleep.
Is that what you think?
Yeah. 'Cause tomorrow we got a lot of shit to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
We got a lot of
preparations and shit. And we got to go to the club too.
Yeah, and I got some fucking work to do.
And
so.
I got to do shopping and you got to do work.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is it'd probably be a pretty good time to fucking shut it down.
All right.
Sound good?
It's like, no, don't do that, everybody says.
Who's saying no, don't do that? No.
Klaus says. Well, we've been on for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, almost 3 hours. Yeah.
And I'm getting kind of drunk.
Yeah.
A little bit. A little bit. But not. Stop it. Why'd she do that?
Crazy.
It's okay, Pokey. All right, so we're going to wrap it up for this evening. Hopefully you guys had a good time. I always have a good time on Friday nights. It's my favorite show of the week to do. So yeah, thank you very much for hanging out with us this Friday evening. Thank you for your super chats. Have a good weekend, everybody. Stay safe out there. And we will see you again on Monday for our movie review. Again, I do not know what movie it's going to be. We'll figure something out over the weekend. But yeah, so have a good night, everybody. Good night.